You went live already?
Yeah, I went live. Dougster's here. I can't just sit here and wait
Well, we're early.
like a fool.
I was just mixing up my blue fluid.
You know, when I was working as a plumber, they said if you're not 15 minutes early, then you're late.
Oh, when I ran that airplane shop, I was an hour early every day because they were like the guy that did the manual machine work. He was always there by 7:15. We started at 8, but he was always there then. He wanted to go in and eat his little donuts and get his table all fixed and everything. I made sure I was there for him. He didn't have to wait outside, and I
Mex-
made sure that I was ready. Yep.
Mexican Spec really has changed. Now that he has a big, successful YouTube channel, he's too busy to come in and hang out with us.
He's probably making dinner and listening to you say that. So we're here, and you
Mark
haven't said anything.
Sylvie is here. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Let Mexican Spec eat his dick.
And Mr. Morrissey,
Mr. Burlock is here. Welcome in.
the California crowd.
Who's OBS Shipyard? Do we know his name? Either way,
I know his
welcome in.
name will be a shipyard.
Yeah, we've seen it. Is that old body style?
It could be.
Is that like the truck shipyard, or is that actually
Well,
boats?
it's OBS. This car would be ABS, ancient body style.
Burlock says Kim is 50% bigger than Buff. That's optical illusion. He's
Obstacle
sitting way back in
illusion.
there. I'm actually not even here. I'm on green screen.
OBS says he's Jim. I'm Jim.
Oh, hi.
Good evening, Jim. We'll try to remember this. I don't always remember everything.
Oh, our blessed shed. I see. That's cool, Jim.
Blessed shit.
Lester LeSabre is here. Welcome in.
A play on old body style. I never understood the old body style because they started calling old body style. There's so many old body styles, I don't know which one they're talking about. And so it's like one age group of people calls that an old body style. But for me, man, there's like 40 old body styles. I get lost.
Colleen Tebow is here. Welcome in.
Colleen.
Colleen of Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans fame. Barracuda is here.
She was Mama M3 for so long, and then they did the whole realignment of YouTube names, and she began calling Tebow again. But that's good. We know her as Colleen.
Professor P has us live. He's
hey, what's up, suckers?
From the Slant Daily Garage.
I can guess where he is. He's in his Slant Daily Garage working on maybe a slant, maybe something else.
Probably.
But he'll have that screen up there and us playing in the background.
Welcome in. We hope we are able to keep you some company. Or maybe who knows what he's doing on a Saturday night. But we are live from Clarksville, Tennessee, from our shop. I am in the shop. I said I was on green screen, but I'm actually here. We are back on the Del Campomino project. At 4 hours a week, it will only take us 3 lifetimes to finish.
Inspector Bruce, good evening.
Hey, Bruce, now that the weather is a little nicer.
Yes, Shane says 100% correct.
We nailed it. We knew he's in there working. All right. Well, we won't ask you too many questions so you can get to work. If you guys have questions for Professor P of Slant Daily Garage, you should see him on Wednesday nights in his live stream with Dallas Brown of the American Hot Rod Association. They do tech talk, and those guys are way more qualified to answer tech questions than we usually are. Although he knows some specialized stuff, and I know a little bit of stuff.
But most of it I can't really talk, or it's not even interesting, this group. You know, we're going to talk about, I could talk for hours about airfoil selection for a new airplane, but nobody wants to listen to that.
Nobody asks.
There's like 1 or 2 people in the whole world want to know about that.
World of Wood Chips is Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent. Yeah.
Did we get any storms? We kind of got the edge of it. Yeah, it came through.
This morning we got a pretty good, rain.
But south of us.
And it rained all day.
South of us, it was like thunderstorming, but we got the edge of it going by. So it watered everything.
Colleen's waiting for the bonfire to burn out so she can go to bed. Okay.
Well,
Oh, yeah, because we got the clock change. You got to get back on schedule, Colleen.
yeah, we have a clock over here on the wall that's right over there. And in about 4 hours, it'll be correct again because we never changed it. Because I kind of like daylight time. And you got to climb up on a ladder to change it. And I just left it there.
Mark Sauvé is watching North versus South, no prep drag race. He thought it was funny that a fight broke out because one guy lost and didn't want to pay his $20 bet. Really? Now that
Have a fist fight over $20.
$20?
And then to ruin your own reputation too, Man.
Did we fix the blower motor on the Zephyr yet?
No, you know what? It fixed itself.
The blower adds 50 horsepower on that engine.
I went down to the garbage dump.
Oh, that's right. You did go down.
And the windows were all fogged over, and I'd forgotten about it. So I got in, started the engine up, started up perfectly. Got in there, and I turned the defroster on, and I heard the fan go, boo, and I heard something go tick, tick, like that, and that was it. So whatever it was in there in the blower motor has fallen down, and I just left the blower motor on low. I was afraid to turn it up, because then it would suck whatever was up in there. And then driving down there as the window cleared off, I thought, I better turn it off. So I turned it off. So temporarily it's fixed itself.
Daniel Morrissey asks if we have a mailing address. We absolutely do. We have a P.O. box that you can send stuff to. Let us know if you're sending something so
just put it up.
It doesn't sit there. Is it a 103?
P.O. Box 103.
All right. I got to figure out how to type here.
Figure out how to type.
With letters.
With letters.
P.
That's O-I.
Listen. P.O. Box 103, and that is Cunningham?
Cunningham.
Ham, comma, TN, comma, 37052.
I think it is.
There you go. And that'll come to us.
Other stuff came to us from that address. Very cool. Do you know where there are aftermarket fiberglass canopies available for the Australian Valiant items? Fiberglass canopies. What's a canopy, like a camper shell?
Yeah.
A cap? Oh, I don't know.
We can make one.
Up here, there's probably nothing. I've thought about building one for this when we get it done.
Build it to suit.
Or maybe build it out of aluminum, because I've got aluminum and I'm really good with aluminum. But then it'd be nice to build a big fiberglass mold and make it out of fiberglass. That'd get kind of expensive. Did you put up your...
I got to go back
up.
You're skipping stuff.
I know.
They're talking about Dougster's Yamaha. We're going to skip that for right now. We'll come back around to that. Dougster shop truck update from Dougster. He put the ARP rod bolts into his 413 today. Tomorrow will be the beginning to change the rear main seal. We're prep and prime the high volume oil. Ooh, Dougster is rolling right along. Faith is having a bad day. She's having a falling out with a friend. I'm so sorry, Faith. I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry that you're having a bad situation with a friend. Everybody send hearts and puppies to Faith to help console her. Girls are mean to one another. I'm not sure why that is, but it is.
Okay, now so much scroll bar.
They talked about Dougster, the Canadian 350 sheet. Yamaha not be able to be sold in the U.S., but the U.S. made the band sheet out of it instead of making a street legal bike. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tim says sound like an old dried leaf in the blower fan.
Uh-huh.
It sounded bigger than that, like a old dried little branch or something. I don't know.
One of those.
And then did you put up your house CB antenna? No, we did not. It was raining.
We weren't going to do it anyways.
But we got to do it really soon, like maybe tomorrow, because the poison ivy's going to grow again.
It will.
And then we can't do it for a year.
Barracudas meant the Utes. I assumed that's what you meant. No, we're not going to be able to find something off the shelf, but I'm sure we can make something that works. John Wilburn is here. Welcome,
Crash
John.
Roadrunner Garage is here. Good evening.
Welcome, Crash Roadrunner Garage. Glad you made it in. Yeah, the gang's all here. Bunch of people filing in on a Saturday night. Hope you all had a good day. And
what are you clacking?
I am a clacking. I'm sorry. Sorry for the clacking, people. Fidgeting.
See, that's supposed to be wedged under that piece of wood that the keyboard's on.
Is that what that's for?
So it doesn't sit there and do that. Because when you're typing and the whole keyboard's moving, see how that works?
All right. Would aluminum cap be lighter than fiberglass and easier?
It depends on how thick the aluminum is. I like working with stuff that's like 16 thousandths thick or 20 thousandths thick, which is very light. That's airplane kind of thing. And but then the structure has to be made in a way that's strong. But then in the air, it might go blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. The thicker the aluminum, the more it weighs, of course.
You don't want it to go.
And the thicker the fiberglass, the more it weighs. So I don't know. Danny Boyd says aluminum will dent. Depends on the aluminum. This aluminum I have up, rolls that I have up here are 2024 T3, which is hard as nails compared to most aluminum. Some aluminum is quite soft.
It's not a show car. As long as it does what it's supposed to do, we can enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. And
we're not going to live much longer anyway.
I think it'd be kind of nice.
Good enough is good enough.
Just having a little pickup truck. What is Jinx? Danny Boyd wrote Jinx.
You know, it would be nice to have a cap to put on it when we put it over for the winter. We could just put a tarp on it.
We'll make a tonneau cover like they do
when
down
this
under.
YouTube channel blows up and we get rich, we could just pull it into the shed like most of these YouTubers do. They got those big, giant pole building with all the spaces for their classic cars. Danny Boyd is here.
Yeah,
Luis is here.
He says Jinx. Why does he say Jinx?
Somebody probably copied him.
What's
Two people say the same thing as the same thing. Oh. Mexican Spec is racking up the Cokes. Really? You just got the bottles? He's got his bottle of blue stuff.
Blue fluid I'm drinking.
Bottle of antifreeze.
Just let it sit there.
All right, you have to take the helm.
Do we have a helm?
This is the helm.
Plywood and shingles on 4x4 posts. Oh my God. 4-inch posts. 4x4 like this. That would put some weight back there. Braden, Grandma died, so now we are fighting with family, and one side of the family wants control over a lot. So now I gotta say, oh man, because that's what happens to families when somebody dies.
It can be difficult when people pass away. There will come a day when you will pass away.
So all of you, no matter how old you are, go get a will made. Because you never know what's going to happen. A friend of mine got killed in a stupid car accident, and he didn't have a will. And man, did that turn into a mess, a huge mess.
Big mess.
And then, after everybody's finished hating each other, the state of Arizona came in and took it all.
They did. That's the worst of it. You didn't know that the state could just come take it.
So, if you have a will, at least the family won't all fight each other afterwards.
Maybe they won't. I don't know. I've seen people still fight.
And Daniel Morrissey says, Kim, I hope your neck and back are feeling good tonight.
Oh, they're horrible, but thanks for asking.
Are they? Because you were laying in bed for a while.
Yeah,
you came up here. What's it? You took a rest.
A lot of rest.
She came up earlier. It's a little cooler tonight. She started a small fire.
Better than yesterday, I'll tell you.
I told her, she told me she's starting a small fire, and I said, like this? I held my hands up like this. She looked at me like I was crazy. I said, a small fire. And she goes, oh yeah, a small fire. So anyway, we've got a fire going in the wood stove over there. But it's still, right now it's 70 degrees in here. So it came up a few degrees. It's comfortable in here. The thing that gets Kim is the concrete's cold, and that really bothers her feet.
Yeah, that doesn't help. A couple of days of warm weather, though, the garage is a lot more comfortable than it was.
And Luis says, Los accidentes no existen. I guess that means the accidents don't exist. I'm not sure. Danny Boyd says, and not American Cokes. Yeah, he's getting those. I thought, Mexican Spec, do you like Cokes? Oh, Kim's moving the car by herself. What are you doing? I don't know. Danny Morrissey says, folks, stay warm. Let's see, what's Doug's two? Oh, Dean Stevenson. Bon appetit. Bonfire. Unfortunately, the passing of an elder is all the buzzards come out of the woodwork because they smell
family
money.
They haven't seen in a decade come around and try and get this pound of flesh.
You know, when my father died, I thought there might be a problem, but you know what? Everybody came together, and he'd really made a mistake because he had a will that my mother had drawn up like 40 years earlier. So, you know, there's like new kids, new grandkids, people had died, and so that will was, and of course my father had remarried, you know, like 10 years went by after that. So it was totally outdated. You couldn't go by anything. But you know what? Everybody kind of came together and go, you know what? We think this is what he meant, and we think this is what he'd want. And there was no argument.
Well, it helps when you have a family responsible.
We all had respect for each other, and there were no problems. And but it's better to have an up-to-date will. I did a will about 4 years ago because my friend got killed with a will, and it was a mess. And then, so I decided to do a will. But then, I don't know, like 3 years went by, and some things had changed, and I decided to update it. The lawyer charged me $200 to update it. It's like, you know, that's a well-spent $200. World of Woodchip says, when I'm dead, I won't need any of this crap. Go ahead and fight. Show me your true colors. I'll be laughing at you while I cut laps with Bugsy Man on that cushion a mile in the sky. I don't know. I just...
When I die, you guys can all split my debt equally.
The thing when Carl got killed was, this my friend in Arizona got killed in a car accident that he was just a passenger in a car. When he got killed, it wasn't people fighting over stuff. It was the mess of how to figure it out and paying an attorney to help us straighten it out. And then in the end, the state of Arizona comes and wants to grab it all.
They took it all.
So,
and they didn't pay any expenses.
And they didn't pay any expenses.
You guys paid all the expenses to work it all out, and they took everything and your money. Took all his money and all your back.
And Daniel Morrissey says, if one does not have a lot of assets, a will is fine. If you have property, it's best to... Yeah, this property is in a family trust. So...
Listen, you shouldn't probably disclose your financial...
That means that it already belongs to the family. And when I die, I'm no longer living here. It still belongs to the family. You are moving things like crazy here, Kim. You like changed everything around. Why do you...
You sit in the corner, and I can't have you there. That's the wrong place for you to be.
Kim is moving
you gotta sit over in the...
She is moving my whole world here.
You gotta sit
Change my screen and
I'm sorry,
everything.
But that's just the way it is. I'm gonna put this over here so yours can't roll away.
So I can't roll away.
Yep.
Every time I look at this piece of metal you put here, you know what that looks like?
No.
This stupid piece of metal looks like my phone. Every time I see it, I go to push it away from the edge, and I go, "Oh, wait a minute, that's not a phone. That's a piece of steel." E-Fog is here. Good evening. Why did that happen?
So, guys, a little bit of...
Kim's doing something.
Just a little bit.
And I didn't order the bolts that I wanted to order, but I'm going to go up to the store locally here, a little store.
You got to hold it. You got in touch with an old friend.
Yeah, I got in touch with an old friend. And he may pop in here. I hope he does. We talked about it. I hope he comes in. He found the channel.
You know what? I was going past last night. I went right past the hardware store, and I didn't even think of it. What I could have got.
But I know exactly what I want. So, and you don't know exactly what I want. So if you went in there, you'd have to guess, and you know.
Well, I had to call you, and you were sleeping, and I was just trying to entertain myself. He was asleep. It was Saturday night. I was like, I'm going, or Friday night. I was like, I'm going out. I'm going out.
She left. I got up and I went in her room, and I'm looking there, and the blankets are all bunched up. I thought she was in them. So, okay, I was quiet, and I just left the light off and walked away, and I did some dishes and some other things. I was trying not to make a lot of noise, and then my phone goes off, and it's Kim texting me. So I go in her room, and it's like, why are you texting me when I'm here in the house? No answer. Turn her light on. Oh, she's not even here.
Where?
I go outside, and I look, and the Jeep's gone. I go, oh, there's a good clue.
I had to go to Walmart, and I had to go to the pharmacy. I got gas. I paid for gas. How much did you guys' gasoline go up in price? Ours went up 50 cents a gallon in 2 days.
Yeah. Well, the people I know in Southeast Asia, it's like they can't even get gas.
Really?
Well, yeah. They're there. There's tankers sitting down there, but there's a limited supply when the tankers run out. So, you know, the price went way up. And okay, let's see. Dougster says, one guy I worked with when his grandfather passed away, he left the houses, the properties, everything. His parents, aunts, uncles were left $1 each. My friend took care of Grandpa 15 years alone. Let's see here. Mexican Spec says, Buff, please be sure you're on live chat. I am on live chat, and I'm missing. Oh, in case Stray Bullet, yeah. That's one of the first things I do is I switch to live chat. What's this OBS? Good luck. What's OBS? Good luck. What's that about? Oh, I missed something. I'm like half paying attention to this.
OBS is the software that we use.
Oh no, this OBS. He says, thank you for telling me about No Name National. As long as I meet the requirements, I'll see you guys there. And if you don't meet the requirements, I went 3 years without the requirements. I just couldn't race, but it's the most fun event. You can go around in the. If you're a what do you call it, observer? Kim, what's the word I need?
What?
If you're there, if you're an observer there, not a participant, you are a
observer, not a participant.
Anyway,
spectator.
If you're a spectator, yeah, why couldn't I pull that out of my dead brain? But if you're a spectator, you'll meet all the people you know online, and then they know who you are, and then you'll probably end up helping one of them work on their car because they broke, you know, and you'll make friends, and you'll just have a hell of a good time, along with doing some videos. So, you know.
Sure. Well, yeah, you know what? Most of the people who are doing the stuff with No Name Nationals are too busy to film. It's really hard to film. You really need like a crew. So if you just offer to follow somebody around and help them, they probably really appreciate it. Not us, but I mean somebody.
Okay, I'm sorry. Things are really scrolling by here fast, so I'm missing a lot. Yeah, Mark Savay said spectator. Danny Boyd says tech auditor. Yeah, that's what you are. Not a spectator, you're a tech auditor. Yeah, everybody's telling me spectator. You're not going to get any points for that.
Everybody gets 2 points.
Oh, he's going to give you points.
Spectator, you get 2 points. Because his brain is mush tonight. His brain is mush.
My brain's always mush.
I don't know what to tell it. Everything he tries to say, he's like, what is that thing?
I can't pull words up like I used to. The whole concept's in my head, but like I can sit there and I can do any work, plan out a new airplane wing. I can do all that. But when it comes to remembering the names of the suppliers and oh man, I can't pull it up. You know, I really have a hard time with that. Of course, I haven't been doing that kind of work for a while.
Yeah. Yep.
OBS says I'm halfway there, and I think I should hit it by then. Well, yeah, well, good. Hey, OBS Shipyard, Mexican Spec. Can you put up a link to his channel or her channel?
Has he signed up yet with John Wilburn? They'll help you out with if you commit to go. John Wilburn and the rest of the No Name Nationals team will help you get your No Name 500.
Danny Boy says I couldn't take a spectator either. Are you getting old like me? Or is it happening to you younger? Or is it happening to you younger? OBS event is 25, 26. But if you can get there on the 24th, you can have dinner with everyone as well. Oh yeah, on the 24th, which is the day before it actually starts, which is a Thursday night, we all go to Lambert's, which is a crazy restaurant. It's one of the most fun places you ever go, along with the good food and way too much to eat. Yeah. And but out in the parking lot, we have a big old car show, and the local law enforcement lets us drive our cars down there. Cars that belong on a drag strip with open. You can't be doing burnouts on the street.
I do burnouts.
And we have a somebody that leads us down there in an old Model T that never goes over about 40 miles an hour. And we go down there and we all park in the parking lot at Lambert's and have this big old car show. And then we all go inside and eat. And then we all drive back to the track. And the local law enforcement lets us do that. Wide open headers and everything. It's pretty cool.
John Wilburn knows the mayor down there.
John, yeah. The mayor. What's his name? Possum. I don't know his real name. The mayor, Possum. He and his family now own the track. It's one of these kind of things. Okay, let me find this. I'm going to click on this to see if I have this. Oh, our blessed shed. I am going to subscribe right now.
Well, you better be careful. He's not.
Oh, look at this.
Any kind of
Toyota Drift Supra. Abandoned GMC Big Block. Oh, that's a nice old GMC. He's got a lot of good stuff here. Okay, so everybody go. How many subs he got? He's got 236 subs and 26 videos. Oh, and some shorts. He does have shorts up there. So, yeah, click on that link and go get subbed up there. Barrows says, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to this, and it's going by kind of quickly. I think you mean, Will, you can help out, get an attorney to help you with that. And attorneys usually don't charge a lot to get a will straightened out. It's easier to get it when it's a will and not afterwards when a will wasn't done. Then it gets expensive. Barrows, I can't recommend registering for the No Name Nationals enough. It makes you focus if you have actual skin in the game, and you can get discount from Edelbrock. Yeah, you get a really good discount from Edelbrock. Not just some little couple percent. You get like, it's kind of like stocking distributor. Kind of.
stocking distributor.
Prices, you get really good deals from Edelbrock and all their other companies that they have. And Edelbrock has what, 4 or 5 companies altogether?
There's a couple of them, yeah.
And they have somebody there that's actually will take your calls. OBS Shipyard says, really? Really? Really what?
Yeah. Whatever it is that you said, yes.
Tim says, if you don't think Lambert's isn't fun, I got adopted last year.
Oh, yeah, they'll look out for you.
He got adopted there?
They'll look out for you. Nobody wants anybody to feel like that.
Danny Boyd says, so what's going on with the Ute? Kim's over here doing something. She's hammeration.
Taking some of the stress off of some of these welds. Because this
Oh,
really is,
Ford
well,
Rule says, I got my picture sent off to Buff. I'm trying to remember which pictures. I looked at a bunch of emails today. You know, you sent me a link. Ford Rules. You sent me a link to a video, and I watched that today. And right now, I'm trying to remember. I watched a lot of stuff. And Vic's Yard is here. Vic here. How you doing? How you doing, Vic's Yard? Good to see you.
Welcome back. Happy Saturday night.
OBS Shipyard says, you guys rock. Well, thanks. Very good. Slant 6 is staying in the Ute, I think. It sure is. We've got, when we built this engine, it's a pretty loose engine. It's like 8 thousandths piston to cylinder wall clearance. So,
and rings are gapped for turbo.
And the rings are gapped so we can turbo it. I mean, the rings are gapped bigger than what they need to be.
This engine has not even 100 miles.
Yeah, it doesn't even have 100 miles on it, but it runs great. And it's got a the right cam for what we're doing. Not a big lumpity lump cam. It's got the right cam for what we're doing, and it's and I've published the cam spec somewhere in my stuff.
Oh, that's right. It has a comp cams in it.
Yeah, it's a comp cam. So
yeah, I forgot that.
So yeah, but it's new pistons. Yeah, it's really a nice engine. It runs great. So
it'll be a lot of fun. It won't be the most powerful car, but honestly, it's just supposed to be a driver. Oh, that helped. That helped. Stress relieving those welds was a good idea.
Oh, so it untwisted that thing?
No, it's still twisted, but
I thought about putting a big wrench on that all the way down.
Oh no! When
you weld the other.
Come here and look.
Okay, I got to go check this out.
Throw the other camera on so they can see too.
Oh, okay, yeah, it almost showed. Oh, it looks way better. Yeah. Oh, you did it with clamps instead of.
Well, yeah, I clamped it down because
these square tubes right here, and that's right here. Go the length. That's what tops this. That'll be the top of the pickup then. But this one was starting to do this. Was starting to twist because when Kim welded this, a weld will always expand, and as it cools, it'll shrink, and it always shrinks further than it expands. So that tube was starting to twist this way. Yeah, it's hard to.
Okay, you can talk to them now. They can see you.
I don't know. So anyway, she has corrected the problem. We put this tube. And this is just terrible. We put this across here so I can look from the back and align that, and you could see there was a wedge-shaped gap under there. Well, that gap's gone now.
What happened is I welded all along this side of the tube and none on that side, so it shrunk and twisted it this way. So now I'm going to weld the inside.
So now it's good.
But I clamped it down first, and I relieved some of these welds that you can't see me touching.
I'm not sure you want it clamped all the way. That might twist it further. Because as it cools, my point is you might want to release some of just a little bit, not much. Because as you weld, welds always shrink more than they expand. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I still have to put some welds up here.
Okay. Well, maybe you do want to leave it clamped. I don't know.
The other thing is once we have it all welded in, we can tweak it. It's steel, so we.
Well, and I could take the torch and go from this side.
Yeah.
I can adjust.
Relieve this.
Yeah.
Relieve the welds and stuff. Yeah.
So
the other thing is, it's just an old Valiant. It's a little twisty. They told us from the start that if we cut the roof off, it was going to twist all up. We put all that slant 6 power on it. It was going to twist right up.
Oh, Barrow says, try that link for No Name Nationals again. Okay. Dick Shard, I have to send you something in the mail. Maybe I'll get info through email just for some channels I like. something in the. You have to send something to me in the mail. Did you guys get my? I'll put it up again. For some reason, I'm not centered on this. I'll just try to do this.
Just straighten it back out. What's wrong?
Well, because you moved me all over, so now when I move over to the keyboard, I'm not in the picture. But that's all right. They know I'm here. They know I'm typing.
Now you ruined it. We couldn't possibly straighten the camera back out. All over. Did he say Jim or John? What was OBS Shipyards?
Jim.
Jim.
Okay, so
I'm glad you like it.
That is a quite zip code. There. Okay, if somebody wants to send us something.
Don't send us nothing.
Oh.
You can say.
And Louis says Donnie Thornberry, Debbie Thornberry. I don't know what that's about.
Thornberry.
Ford rules. Darren Morgan says turbo motors get NA cams, idle nice and smooth. There is so much to camshaft design. The person you talk to is he's in here listening to us. Slant Daily Garage. The guy designs camshafts.
He works for Edelbrock.
He's an engineer for Edelbrock, and but he's been designing cams longer than he worked for Edelbrock. So I listen to him.
He is on. You can find him on
Slant Daily Garage. Slant Daily Garage Wednesday nights, and the Tech Talk with
guy knows his stuff.
With Shane, Slant Daily Garage, and Dallas Brown, who's the president of the AHRA, and they're technical guys.
Those guys know everything, and they're also smart enough to tell you if they don't know something.
If they don't know
everybody.
They know somebody that will know.
That's right. They'll point you in the right direction.
Oh, Buddy Carvalho says, did you decide where to put the Valiant emblem? Kim, you remember that? I don't know if you saw it.
I did see that video.
Yeah, you took the video, but I didn't know if you'd seen it up there. We got a lot of comments on that. So, and there's a lot of ideas. So no, I haven't decided. You know when I'll decide? The day I put it on. And we got two of them. So there'll be one for each side. But some people say the tailgate. So then I don't know.
Yeah. That would be good place.
Vic Yards has got the address. Thanks. Sticker and some notepads. Oh, cool.
Swag.
Oh, and Faye says she sent pictures. You know what? If you sent pictures, we'll be seeing them on Tuesday nights. Because Tuesday nights, we're not here in the shop. We're in the studio, which is up in the house. And we've got a screen behind us. So we sit there and we shrink ourselves down real small. And we show all the pictures behind us. So, and we've got all the equipment up there to do that. And it works out really well. Here, I can do it, but it's really clumsy.
It's a little more work.
It's clumsy. It doesn't work well.
You don't like it. And he's supposed to be helping me.
Doug says, Edelbrock. Group is Edelbrock, Comp Cams, Russell Fuel Systems, and TCI Transmission. And you get a direct contact. His name is Alex. What's his name? Alex So, I think. Alex. Thanks to Slant Daily, he made this wonderful resource possible. That's right. What a deal. I mean, there's a lot of stuff there that's available.
John Wilburn says if you spend, between $600 and $900, it will pay for your...
It'll pay for your...
entrance at...
your entrance.
Savings.
Yep.
So there you go.
So then you go to Known Internationals for free.
Yeah, right. On Edelbrock's down.
On Edelbrock's discount.
Yep. We're so they...
Barrow says, when I cut the floor out of that Corvair to move it up 4 inches, I'll do the same to the inside of the car to keep it from moving. The doors will still open and shut like they should. Keeps it square. I got to turn my back to Kim so I'll get flash. I can even see it up in the Studebaker grill. Can you see the welding flash in the Studebaker grill? Cutter down the garage says micro machines. Very good, Buck and Kim. Have you ever considered triple twin choke side draft carbs on one of your slant sixes? You know, I like stuff like that, but because we're going to turbo this one, this car, this engine, the one I'm pointing to, I can't point to it. Well, you can see it. You can see my finger over here when I'm pointing to the car that Tim's working on. That one already has an aluminum 2-barrel intake manifold on it, and that'll work really well with the turbo. We like making custom intake manifolds. There's one I want to do, like something like what you're talking about. But Kim did one on a V6. I don't know, some of you are watching it, but Kim did one on a
V6-4.
Yeah, what is that thing? A Cologne engine?
Yeah.
Because she didn't want to cut a hole in the hood. So she made, you remember the old Chrysler cross ram manifolds? She made a manifold that went across and down and over like this. So it was kind of like that. She made it all out of sheet metal. And she started that thing. It was some kind of whole, the ignition system didn't belong on that engine.
Yeah.
Whole homemade manifold. Something that, yeah, but I mean, the whole distributor, everything was, what was the distributor out of? Something else.
Yeah, well, I had to gut the distributor because it was all electronic, and I put an optus spark.
You put it
in it.
Yeah, what do you call that thing out? Yeah, I can't think of the.
I know your brain doesn't work.
I can't remember names of
There's
these
the
things.
welds. It's together now.
But anyway, she went over there and she cranked it. She goes, okay, I'm going to crank it. And she started, she goes, wait a minute, you got to hook up the ignition because we had to hook it up with the battery. So I hooked it up and she cranked it about a half a turn and that engine sat there and went, boom, just sat there and idle. First crank, first start, homemade manifold, homemade ignition system. I was like, I couldn't believe it,
I like to amaze Buckdale Cancel. That makes my day. Hi! Okay. Here's my welds.
Okay, let's see here. By the way, Darren ports heads. Kim does that too. Builds manifold or ports them for a living. Yeah, we don't do that. We don't do anything for a living. We try to make a living here, and we're not doing it.
Let me know what that making a living thing is like.
I'm on Social Security, so you can imagine what that's like. Let's see.
If I could make a living out of loving you, I'd be a millionaire in a week.
Man, Dougster says Edelbrock makes an aluminum head for Jeep 4.0. I did not know that. It looks killer.
An aluminum head? I didn't.
Now that brings up another question.
You could go full screen on you.
The Jeep 4.0 is kind of an outgrowth of the AMC 6-cylinder, like a 2.58 or 258. Not 2.58, 258. Is the head bolt pattern the same? Man, okay, I got to change cameras here. That's the wrong camera. Oh no, that's the right camera. Barrow says 99% of welding is heat management. It goes far beyond the actual job. Yep. Yeah, when I've straightened a lot of airplane frames, chromoly tubing frames. Somebody crashes one or something, and what I'll do is I'll straighten the frame all out with porta powers by putting heat, and, like taking a torch and heating welds and heating clusters and and you watch it heat, then you watch it come back, getting everything back where you want it. And then any tubes that are kinked, then I'll cut those tubes out and replace them. I don't cut anything out until all the major stuff's back where it belongs. Man, I haven't done any of that in a long time, but I used to do that a lot. Cutter Down Garage says Autolite or Petrolite. What I was thinking of was the what's the Unilite? Yeah. The Unilite distributors is what I was thinking of. Very good. It says all that sort of stuff for slabs is available from OCC, not Chico. Yeah, and up here in this end of the planet, it's really expensive to get that stuff here. Doug says there was a Chrysler Slant 6 Power Pack intake for sale a few weeks ago. They wanted $800 for it, and I think that was a good price. Yeah. Seeming how rare that intake is now. You know, Big Shard, people in the comments show some love. Like the band. Hey, thanks. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping up with this because I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff, and I'm not reading the comments quickly. Well, get with it. Dean Stevens says 6 RC45 flat side Makunis might work cheaper. Very good. You have one job. No, I don't have one job. I am multitasking, which means there is no such thing as multitasking. It means you're dividing your time, so you're not doing anything very well. OBS Shipyard, so you're thinking of one of those on an AMC. Oh, it's just something that crosses my mind. You know, I've had AMC 6-cylinders. Currently, I don't have one, but, man, I love AMC cars, especially, like, after Dick Teague started doing the design work. Man, I love those cars. Those are wonderful cars. And I think Mexican Spec likes them as well. What's going on? Mexican, what is that noise? Barrow says the Mopar Jeep and the AMC Jeep are different, share design, but little crosses over. Well, I was just wondering if that 4.0. Okay, here Dougster says, yeah, you can use AMC crank in the Jeep 4.0 block and make 4.3 liter stroker, I believe. I was just wondering if the head will interchange. I don't know. It's just I start thinking about this stuff. Dean Stevenson says 4.375 bore spacing, same as the Windsor 302 if you want to cross flow it, or the Cleveland if you want to cant outlet. Yeah, that's what, Dallas Brown, the Thunderbird he built, had a Windsor, a 351 Windsor, but it was stroked out to 427. But then he used Cleveland heads on it, so they call it a cleaver. But then the coolant travels differently, and you've got to work that out. But that's something that's been worked out before. But my God, does that car go fast? What a machine that thing is. Very good. It says Makunis are excellent carbs. Have you seen that done, Dean? I used to run Makunis on some of the two-stroke aircraft engines that I used to build. But then I also had what's the other one? Bing carburetors. And actually, I've done a lot more with Bing carburetors, so I tend to go that direction. But I don't know if I have any around here anymore. Or Rule says I hear Mopar stuff at Uncle Tony's garage. Yeah, we all know Uncle Tony really well. It makes three though. There's people like him, people that don't like him. I don't care. I worked with Tony. I did fine with him. I was on his lives for a year and a half, and then I ended up going back to work in a location that didn't work out well with me going to his place. And I was supposed to go to work for a month. It ended up being 2 years. So by the time I got back from that excursion, he was doing something else. So then I met Kim by then. So we started this channel, started doing our own lives. So yeah, Tony's lives about an hour and 45 minutes from here. And we don't go down there very often, but we do go down there sometimes. And I think a lot of people here are in.
We went down and visited Dr. Art.
Yeah, and Dr. Art's down in that same neck of the woods. So, but I think a lot of people in here also hang out in Uncle Tony's garage. So, yeah, Cutter Down says, Makuni on my three-wheeler. Okay. Dougster, but you want the years of AMC 6 when you went featherweight. Look at a bunch of weight out of them. Okay, see, and the 6 cylinders I had were like in the 70s, like a 74 Matador, or I had a couple of Gremlins. Well, one of the Gremlins it actually belonged to a friend of mine, but I had it for a while. It had a 429 Ford in it, so that's not 6 cylinder. But I had a Gremlin with a 258 6-cylinder in it, and that's what was in my Matador, is a 258. Fix yard, loading the stove is a lifestyle. And Ford Rule says Javelins are great looking. See, Mexican Specs in here, and if any of you watch Mexican Specs videos, he's in Mexico, sells Mexican, what he calls the Mexican Spec cars, which are very much like American cars, basically the same cars, but they built them a little differently down there. Some of the grills, like they have Mercury grills on the front of Fords, and AMCs look a little different, and they were called VAM down there. But he really likes the AMC cars down there, but they don't sell very well. Man, he's got some really good ones on there. I can't imagine why they don't sell. He has some really good AMCs down there or what we would call AMCs up here in the U.S. And Luis says 4.0. Yep. Cut her down at 8, 9 Jeeps throughout the years. Yeah, and that's what Tony has, those XJ Jeeps. Our Jeep we have is completely different. It's a front driver. It's like a.
Isn't it designed by a different manufacturer even? So
yeah, it's completely different.
It's a Fiat, isn't it?
No, it was done before Fiat. It's like a Dodge Caliber kind of thing.
That's right. There's a drivetrain with a caliper.
It's a
caliper.
Jeep Patriot. Tim says Dallas Brown's T-Bird went across the 60-foot light with the back tires. Oh yeah, because the front tires were off the ground.
Barry Kuda thinks that Jamie of Dead Dodge Garage is adamant that the 170 is superior to the 225.
Well, it's a short stroke, and so it'll probably turn faster.
But it's less displacement. But the problem is when they updated it from the 170 to the 225, it is exactly the same cylinder head. So the valves didn't get any bigger. Intake characteristics didn't get any bigger. Like the ports in the head, they're little things. So flow is a restriction from the start. But they are more powerful engines, but the torque band is different. And, for the way modern drivers use them, probably the 170 is a superior bore-to-stroke ratio.
This thing, the 225, you can't go cranking it up like 7,000 RPM or something. Imagine the piston speed in there.
Once. So you'll do it once.
Yeah, just once. So, this thing, if we turn it like 4,000, maybe a little bit more, shift.
It's a good torquey 6-cylinder engine, but it is nothing like a modern inline six.
Okay, I want to, opinions, whatever they're worth. They're all talking about these Mikuni carburetors. I want to know, my experience with Mikunis is like this much. My experience with Bing carburetors is huge. What have any of you that used the Bing carburetors, which are, to me, similar to the Mikunis, but like I said, I don't have a lot of experience.
Aren't those Mikunis mostly just like motorcycle carburetors? Or?
Yeah, but they're talking. I was always thinking. See, I put Bing carburetors on Honda 4-cylinder engines. Remember the old Honda 1200, which is not. It was the engine before the CVCC. I put Bing carburetors on those, and so you make a manifold, they're side draft, and it worked really well. But what
Robbie's
the hell
here.
is that?
Welcome in, Robbie.
So I'm just wondering if any of you have experience with Bing carbs. Let's see. Dean, the way to find bore spacing is see the biggest bore size engine has, like a 282 VAM, which has the same crank as a 258, but is overboard 1/62 thousandths from the 258's 3.75 to a massive 3.912. So you find the bore space, and probably look up the bore spacing. Let's see here. Same as the 318 ALA.
Yeah, that sounds like the 318 pistons. Wow.
The 265. 265 is really unfortunate. They developed that engine here in the U.S. It was probably meant to be in pickup trucks or something, but they ended up using it in down under, in Australia and New Zealand, and they put it in the Valiants. It's a pretty cool engine. I've only seen one of them here, and it was in a older Ute. It was a swap in an older Ute that somebody brought up here. It was for sale, I don't know, 5-6 months ago, somewhere in this area. Dougster Lucas, the bane, the Prince of Darkness, the bane of all English-made cars. I've had to work with a little of that. Barry Kuda had a 38 millimeter Mikuni on my Yamaha GT500. A 36 millimeter on the XT500, really good. I had an airplane that had, it wasn't my airplane. I used to fly it a lot. And it had a 2-cylinder, what was that thing? Kawasaki, no. It was some little Japanese 2-cylinder engine. But that engine seized up, and we ended up putting half a VW on it.
Jordan Wilburn says his 89 Hyundai had a Mikuni carb. Worst carb I've ever read. I can't believe an 89. I thought by 89 they were all fuel injected. Or maybe it was
Hyundai.
Hyundai.
It rhymes with Sunday. But a lot of people say Hyundai and Hyundai.
Like hyena.
Hyena? Yeah, that's what they are. 89 hyena.
But like a hyena wearing underwear. Hyundai. Hyena underwear.
Very good. I think Electron made the first flat side carburetor for motorcycles. They had good reputation. Well, I don't know. They ever used Bings on motorcycles? I think Bings were on a lot of Rotaxes, maybe in some snowmobiles or something. I don't know what they were. We ended up putting them on. Well, they were on 2-cylinder Rotaxes that were on little, like, ultralight engines for aircraft. But those engines got, how engines are. They make them bigger and bigger. Pretty soon they're on airplanes that are not ultralights. Ford rules or Cleveland head on a straight 6, cut 2 heads. Yeah, who was it made the somebody was, I think there were 2 people doing that. Oh no, they were using Chevy LS heads cut like that on a Ford 6-cylinder. It's on a Ford 300, I think. Who'll know about that is Danny Boyd will know about that because he's a 300 Ford 6-cylinder guy. And yeah, you said hi to Robbie, but I did not. So good evening, Robbie.
Shipyard had an 88 Corolla with a carb, and John Wilburn says they used them in the Sprint, GM Sprint, as late as 1991. Really? It had to have had some kind of enrichment controller, though, for the oxygen sensor, some kind of feedback carburetor, right?
Cut her down commercials. I remember the Amigo commercials. Amigo. Is that that's the little cart you drive around, 3-wheelers or something? That
You're making.
No, that's Amiga. What's an Amigo?
Amiga's a computer.
Oh, that's a Amiga is a computer.
No, I don't know. I think that's an Isuzu.
And Dougster says, "Yep, Buff got it. Hyundai is like Sunday."
Listen, if I say it's
Hyundai,
then it is.
Kim's always right.
My Hyundai.
If you live around a woman, you'll learn. She's always right.
I say Hyundai. That means I'm right.
Dougster says, my old scoutmaster used to call it a Toyota.
Hyundai.
A Toyota with it. It's like Kim's from Pittsburgh, so the thing that's in the bathroom you sit on, she calls that a toilet. A toilet.
Listen, don't make fun of me.
No, it's just different areas of the country and different areas of the world. People pronounce words differently.
If you're gonna make fun of me, I'm gonna make noise.
Yeah, you made noise. She's gonna shut me up by making noise.
I gotta make noise anyways.
Very cool, because I've got a 245 cubic inch ME6 engine, 2-barrel Carter, 185 horsepower. It's done about 175,000 miles. Still runs good as ever. Doesn't burn any oil. Man, I've got an engine like that in a Ford van. It's a what is that thing? 5.4? No, it's the smaller one. 4.6. It's a modular engine. That thing has 329,000 miles on it. Does not use oil. Change the oil about every 5,000 miles.
Never been apart.
Never been apart. Doesn't use oil. It'll be almost a quart low in 5,000 miles. Just perfect running engine.
Runs really well.
I can't believe it. You
would never know.
Well, and your 4.2 V6, which I can't think of what that engine family's called.
That's in the family with it has the same as like a.
But that thing's got a couple 100,000 miles on it. It runs great.
It has the regular small block Ford, whatever that one is. It's got, what does it have? 225,000 or something? Or
yeah, it's got over a couple 100,000.
Yeah, it's still a good vehicle. Although
it
leaks oil out every orifice, every seal, every seam. It sweeps oil. You just pour some more in there. It's fine. It might burn some. You'd never know. I mean, the tailpipe isn't all black.
I'm scrolling back here. Dr. Art, Dean Stevens says, Dr. Art is working with a tall garage on the LS Head 306. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And at 200,000 miles, it's still got the original spark plugs in it.
Vic Sharp. Got a ride in a Waco biplane with a radial engine, open cockpit. Couldn't hear after that. You know what amazed me about radial engines is how smooth they are. Because you're outside the airplane, they seem all chunky and noisy and everything. Get inside, and they are so smooth and so deceiving from the outside. Dougster says people in the South call it a commode. Yep.
Yeah, but that's
a lot of people call it a commode. John Wilburn, the 80s carbs were off. God, this is scrolling by so fast I got to keep going backwards. The 80s carbs were awful. They had electronic controls and were evolutionary transition to fuel injection, like either 70s style carbs or fuel injection. The 80 carbs sucked. Yeah, but remember I put a Pontiac Iron Duke in a Dodge Dart, drove around. It had a thing on it called a feedback carburetor, which is a carburetor that moved metering rods and stuff around depending on all the sensors on the engine. What a pain in the ass that thing was.
I remember Dodge had those on the slant sixes in the early 80s. People hated them. They ripped them right off.
What I finally did with that thing was I just let it run in, I just adjusted the best I could, and I let it run in limp mode, and it ran fine. That engine was great. But that was not a fun carburetor to make it work the way it was supposed to work. If I had that now, I'd put some other carburetor on it.
Yeah. If you only knew now what you knew then. It was hard to get a good carburetor then. It was expensive. It was well, you know what else is I was up there in Pittsburgh, and you can't change that stuff in Pittsburgh. You had to make it work with what you were given from birth. If they caught you changing stuff.
Well, that Dodge Dart, that thing it had a slant six in it. It had about 3 1/4 on it. I think it had 325,000 miles on it. And it was using oil like crazy. And
that's a lot of miles on a six.
I was
cast iron. They don't last forever.
I had a shop then, and a guy brought me I think it was a 42 military Jeep. It was worn out, or maybe it didn't even run. and he wanted this Pontiac Iron Duke put in it. So I went out to the wrecking yard and I got a Pontiac Iron Duke. I had 2,200 miles on it. It was this is in 1980. I had brand new car with a wrecked. I got the engine out of it, and then I got an automatic transmission, and I was going to put it in this Jeep. Well, then he sold the Jeep while I had all the stuff in the shop, and I already bought the engine and a transmission and all this stuff. And so the new owner comes in. He's going to restore it back to stock and takes the Jeep away. So there I am, stuck with the engine and all the pieces I bought for this project for this customer. So one night, I'm in there by myself, typical work in the shop at night, and man, I went over there, the hoist, I thought about this for about 10 seconds. Out comes the slant six and the torque plate. I dropped the Pontiac Iron Duke with a Turbo 200 down in there, and kind of figured out where it had to be, blocked it up with wood or something, made some engine mounts right then. But I used the slant six engine mount, the rubber parts, and just made adapters for the engine, made some steel parts for the engine, welded those up. Man, I had that thing done that night.
You know how many times you've told this story?
Except for the drive shaft. I had to do the drive shaft. So anyway.
And the alternator. You had a friend.
And I had a friend wire up the alternator.
Can I cut?
What?
How much longer till the story ends?
It's almost over. So anyway, it just ended up being a silly car, and then I had to jack the torsion bars way down because it's just much lighter up front. That car drove great. And so anyway, the only reason I did it is because I had all the stuff.
Yep, free.
Well, it wasn't free because I bought it for a customer.
Yeah, but you were screwed.
But that was... Oh, my God.
Hey, turn on the other camera so they can see
just a minute.
The noise is about. Can you see?
Yeah.
Loving hammer point.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, we're taking off the headset. Back to talking, everybody. Sorry, I couldn't talk over that. It's the noise canceling. The mic.
This is an example of Kim shrinking a piece of metal. Look how good I am. You can change the camera.
Total confusion.
Look at that.
Okay, so she shrunk this piece of metal to make that fit, but that's not going to look good, so she cut it out. Most of this wouldn't have been there anyway. So, where are we?
He didn't like that.
Yeah, Ford rule says sawzall. Yep.
Yeah, they're noisy.
There's things you got to have to build custom cars. You got to have torches. You got to have sawzalls. You got to have a MIG welder. Grinder. Hammer.
Hammer, yeah.
Oh, the biggest drawer in the bottom of the toolbox is full of hammers.
And that's still only a fraction how many you've got on rim.
Barry Kuda says, Bing carbs were common on pre-Japanese invasion dirt bikes. 60s to mid-70s European bikes. Not sure. They don't think they were highly regarded.
I thought Bing was a search engine.
Bing carburetors, I know you can get them through Rotax, but everything at Rotax is crazy expensive. Do we have gasoline?
I spilled gas.
Yeah, I got that tube's back on the front. Oh yeah, my nose notices that because we got a fire in here.
Cleaned up, I guess.
Stuff this up here high so it doesn't trip on the ground.
Yeah, it keeps coming out of there. I think I probably should find a better place.
Well, yeah, there's residual fuel between that and the engine. Okay. Can't have a wood stove and gasoline leaks in the same building. Cutter Down Garage says hovercraft is Rotat. I flew a lot of hours. I was going to say behind Rotax engines. Mostly they were pusher airplanes, so the engine was behind me. But lots and lots of Rotax engines. And, man. Lots of big carburetors. Also big carburetors on Honda. Honda Civic engines in airplanes with big carburetors on them. Flew quite a few of those. Is Can-Am powered by Rotax? I am not sure. See, I wasn't into the watercraft and the
Okay, you can give me the camera back too.
in the snowmobiles much at all, but sure was with the airplanes. Which are a lot of the airplanes I flew they were single seat and 2-seat, bigger than ultralights, but smaller than like Cessnas. Little hot rod airplanes. You put 100 horsepower on an airplane like that, it's like flying a little fighter jet. I love my Q jets, but honestly, I'm done with them. Just too hard to get good parts for them, or unmolested buildable cores. If you like that style of carburetor, big bore secondary, how are the Hollies that are like that, or the thermoquads? I don't know much about those. Just wonder.
That's a good question to ask Plant Daily Garage.
And Barrows, he works with a lot of older stuff, knows about a lot of that stuff. Have you ever seen the 3-barrel Holly carburetors?
Is that the big oval one?
Yeah, it's got a big oval secondary. I just wondered how those work. I've never messed with one. I've seen them, but I haven't seen one in a long time.
Rotary intake valve. That's cool.
What's this? Where does it say rotary intake valves? I missed this. Oh, yes, the Rotax hammer bolt skidoo. Yeah, okay. I was going to say oh, there it is. Rotax motors in 70s Can-Am dirt bikes were very fast. They had a rotary intake valve. The ones for the airplanes with the rotary were the 532 and 582 engines, which I didn't like a lot because they were more complicated. The two cycle engine I liked was the 503 Rotax, much simpler. And those things they weren't as big, not quite as powerful, but you just build the airplane lighter. And I built a lot of single seat airplanes that I put 503 Rotaxes on, and they'd cruise along at a little over 100 miles an hour, 105. And they were aerobatic airplanes. And the 2 cycles were very forgiving of being upside down and doing crazy airbags and things. The 4 cycle engine, you get just slightly negative G, and they would quit instantly. They didn't like that. The 2 cycle just seemed to blast through that. Okay, I'm going to put my headset back on. Just a second.
You ought to be able to.
Just a second. This is going to get noisy.
Yeah, I changed the plan a little bit.
Okay. I couldn't hear you. I had my headset on. This is very effective.
I made a small change to the plan. See this piece of metal?
Yeah.
We're not gonna use that.
I saw where you were cutting it out. I didn't know quite what you were doing.
Well, I just didn't want
Yeah, at some point I gotta just trust you without going, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I'm just trying to jigsaw puzzle this back together.
Barrow says the spread bore was far better design over the 3. Yeah, I didn't ever understood the 3-barrel, but I remember those things when they were new, but never had one. Always thought it'd be interesting, but it just seems like it wouldn't work well. Yeah, but the spread bore. What about the thermal quad? Do you have any experience with those things? Let's see. Because I had a friend that really liked thermal quads, but I think he only had like one of his cars, and that was my friend Carl, who was a total Mopar guy, but man, he didn't have many of those. It maybe one. I know he talked about them sometimes. Brayden says Skidoo, Arctic Cats suck and always have issues. Really? I rode a thing called a Sea-Doo. It was like people call them jet skis, but they weren't. You sat on it like a motorcycle, and it was like a little boat. It was fun. It wasn't mine. It belonged to somebody else who let me ride it around a little bit. Hippie Long. Hi, all. Doing monster trucks will... Oh, we'll check in when I can. Hey, 4 rules. I was pretty busy today. You got more hammering?
Just a little. Little massage here. Relazione.
I'm waiting for the hammering to finish.
Sorry, I can't show you this, guys. It's terms of service. You know?
When can I talk again? My guess is the noise canceling takes that hammering out. Okay, 4 rules. There's a guy, now I can't remember his name, who's the oil, what's he calling himself? Man, are you noisy?
You know what?
Who's the oil geek? The oil, what's he calling himself? There's more to his channel name than that. Anyway, maybe you know who I'm talking about, 4 rules. Somebody will have his name in here. His name is Lake Speed, the oil geek guy. He just did a video, and it's got a rotary engine in there. It's really interesting. And I was going to send you a link to it, but I got busy and didn't get it done. Live was coming up. So on the phone with an old friend of mine, and that had to come first. So anyway, I don't know if you've. Oh yeah, okay, you know who he is. Yeah, he just put up a video that's got a very interesting rotary engine in there, and I was thinking maybe it's the one that you're talking about, but I'm not sure. I was busy doing a lot of things, kind of multitasking. I had that going in the background, so I was wondering if that was the one that you knew about. Dean Stevenson said thermal quads are totally awesome, but Ford guys are lazy. What do you mean Ford guys are lazy? And never let them work as well as the Mopar guys did. In Australia, only one Valiant had a thermal quad, the 340 E55 Charger. And there's a guy that's in, where is he? He's in Eastern Australia somewhere. And he's doing a Charger, a Valiant. I think it's what you call a Valiant Charger. And completely restoring it. And so I've been watching him a bit. He doesn't have a lot of videos up, but I've watched the ones he has. And that's a car. It is so different. I mean, it's underneath, it's the same, it's Valiant-like structure. That car is so different than anything we had here. It's kind of interesting to see that. It's kind of funny as I left him a comment. And then he knew who we were. And he knew about this project. So he's been watching ours.
That's cool when people across the world know something about what you're doing.
He just hasn't been in any of our in our lives. Yeah, Dougster, Lake Speed Jr. Ford rules. Yeah, Lake Speed Jr. I watch a lot of what he does. Because a lot of chemistry and oil and oil products to most people is just a big mystery. I've had people talk to me like they know what they're talking about, and they're just making it up. But Lake Speed, you listen to him, and he knows his shit. I mean, he really understands oil products and lubricants, and man, I learn a lot from that guy. Barracuda bike now is 74 XL100 with a SL125 motor, 76 CR125 parts, tank, bars, fender, side covers, shock, sports, wheels, seat, all painted something CR, Tahitian red. Okay. That is a bunch of stuff that I don't know anything about. I'm just reading. I can't even imagine what this stuff is. Hey, I want to bring up something that is kind of YouTube-ish. Down at the bottom of the screen, there's a red line that goes along during the lives. And if that red line is all the way to the right, you're current. You're right up to date. If the red line is somewhere not up to date, there's a little button that says live. You can push that. It'll have a little red light on it. And if that light isn't lit up, you touch it, it'll catch you right back up. It'll put that red line all the way over the right. If you're on a phone, you can just pull that red line over with your finger, and it'll bring you up to date. But if that red line isn't up there, you might be 10, 15 minutes behind in the live. And once in a while, I notice somebody making comments up here that are 10 or 15 minutes behind, and I wonder if they're just thinking about it or if they're behind in live. But if you see that, you can get yourself caught up if you don't already know that.
And we'll make fun.
Let's see here. Ford Rule says knob gear has regular piston swing on a circle rotary inner block. The other one he had, the apex seals were stationary in the block, and the rotors moved around. And it had a side seal that was a full circle. And like now we see your feet.
Oh.
Now we see a piece of something flat. What is that? That looks like a piece of metal. I don't know what we got here. What's going on, Jim? You're doing a layout? What is that piece of metal from?
I bought that. It cost $65. It's pretty expensive.
What?
Where's the marker?
How thick is that?
Sharpie? That is, I think it's,
when did you buy that?
16 gauge.
16 gauge? When did you buy that?
Probably December. What did
Oh, so, well, you've had it for a while, and I just haven't seen it, or I saw it and forgot about it. I'm looking for the Sharpies.
I'll go find one. Go ahead.
Well, I know there's got to be at least one or two of them hanging around here. They got moved. Here,
What are these for?
Kim,
I don't know which one.
this one, and it works. Here.
I'm good, I found them.
Well, you found them and I found them at the same time. Here, this is a fat one, and that's a skinny one. Kim, before you do that, take some acetone and wipe that piece of metal off, because it probably has a little oil on it. And as soon as you write on a little bit of the Sharpie, it ruins the Sharpie. If you wipe it off with acetone first, it won't ruin the Sharpies.
Okay. Got a little bit of acetone over here.
Let's see here. The E55 Valiant Charger came with a fairly mild 340 engine. I don't remember what engine is in his Charger. He's got a Charger that's a, what was the purple color? Plum Crazy. His is a Plum Crazy.
Who's it?
The guy that I was, what's the name of his channel? Bench Seat something? And he's in Australia. He's the one that's restoring complete, full restoration, big money, lots of work. You know, and I don't think he has big money. I think he's got years of work in it.
Well,
and
that's the other way to do it.
That's the other way to do it. And he's paying somebody to help him with it.
Time is money.
But yeah, it's like a 20-year job, you know. But it's
well, that's like this.
Well, and it had body damage on it. That somebody did a terrible job.
Somebody had cut the roof off this car.
Yeah, somebody cut the roof off this car. But anyway, yeah, he's doing a good job on it. The bad body work is being replaced with good body work. Yeah.
Fools! Tell you. What were they thinking? Foolishness. The foolishness.
Dean Stevenson's. I'm going to let everybody read that themselves. Dean Stevenson, he's a great guy. I commented on his A-body roof changes. Australians made with eliminated or windscreen interchanges. He was aware of exactly what you and Tavo had noted. Okay, so you're talking about the bench seat? I forget what bench seat called this whole channel name. Very good. A friend of mine recently bought an old Honda SL350 Twin and a Honda XL175. You know, I remember when the 350s came out, and a friend of mine had a couple bikes, and they were Honda 305s, if anybody remembers those things. And I used to ride a Honda 305 around when I was about probably 17 or 18 years old. I can't be on motorcycles. I just lose all sense of speed, and I'll be in a 35 mile an hour speed zone. I'll be going 80 and I won't even notice it. It's just something about motorcycles. It's so easy to ride like an idiot. I can't do it. If I ride around at the speed limit, it feels like I'm walking backwards. And I don't do that in a car. I don't know why on a motorcycle I have so much trouble.
Do we have anything that'll cut this other than the grinding wheel?
Okay, let's see here. Just a second. D-Man's here. Good evening. What's going on, Buff and Kim? Okay, we are working on... Oh, that's it. Dean Stevenson, Bench Seat Diaries. That's right. Is aware of most of what you're doing. Okay, yeah, Bench Seat Diaries. I couldn't think of the rest of the name of that channel. I'm going to walk over there with Kim for a minute. Wood chip. What about motorcycles? I get on a bike and I'm going stupid fast. I don't even notice it, except if the police catch me or if I crash. Oh, this is a thick piece of stuff.
I told you what it was. You asked.
No, but I just wiped it with my fingers.
Oh.
Um,
60 gauge.
so what's the best thing to cut that with? You can't cut this with the with that peeler thing, can you? This is probably too thick for that. Oh my God! To cut this with a shear, you need a bigger shear than what we have. Because that shear will not cut this. You're probably going to have to do it with
right.
Is this supposed to be a rectangle, or is this set for something else?
It's rectangle.
Because that doesn't look like a rectangle.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to check your work.
No, he doesn't trust me to draw a rectangle.
Why does it look wrong?
Because these lines here are a little bit weird, so it visually just...
And when I see two lines that aren't parallel, I can see it.
I know.
But these are. I checked your work. It's good.
Thank you.
It's like if an airplane's out of rig way across the ramp somewhere, I can see it. I can see twists. I can see twists. I can see things that are not parallel. It's just like.
I guess I'll take this outside, because otherwise it's going to make...
That is going to be very noisy. What time is it? You're going to wake the neighbors. There are neighbors that aren't real close, but you make too much noise and it's too much noise.
Probably too late to do this. I probably need to work on something else to do.
Josh Holman, I don't know why, because to me, being on a bike would feel much faster. That's what I would think. But it isn't like that. I don't know why. If I'm on a motorcycle, it's just.
When's the last time you rode on?
Oh, the last time I rode on a motorcycle was your little thing, which I don't like.
Oh, that's right. I made a ride on the mini bike.
That's a fast, punchy little mini bike.
Oh, that was funny.
But I was probably in my early 20s riding motorcycles, and I shouldn't be doing that. And then, same thing back then with cars, though. I got in trouble in cars. But a lot of that adrenaline kind of thing you got to do. When I did when I got into those airplanes, the ones that I could fly aerobatics with, there were a couple of times that I'd do something and mess it up, and I'd be like, hard to be pounding. And I'd go like, what did I do that for? I could have ate it. But I think the airplanes got a lot of that out of me. Honda CB100. I had a friend that had a Honda 100. That's a while ago, though. Dean says abrasive disc and full shield.
The abrasive disc is of choice for me. The chop saw, it's too long to cut with the chop saw.
Actually, suddenly warped the shit out of it.
Yeah, and I mean, I want it nice and neat.
You have a plasma cutter, but it's a piece of shit.
The plasma cutter is buried on the shelf, and this is way too thin to be bothered to drag it out. An abrasive disc, I'll cut a nice straight line with it. It's very predictable. I can do a good job.
And she knows how to be offset from the wheel, so you're not like in front of your face.
Yeah.
And it's still dangerous.
Yeah, what did I just cut? I just cut this stuff, this chunky stuff with an abrasive disc. Look how nice and straight the lines are. It's really good. I did a nice job, didn't I?
You did a nice job.
With the abrasive disc. So,
and those are 3/16. Those are 1/8/7.
Yeah, those are way thicker than this stuff that I'm cutting. So I'll just use that. Then I got some...
World of Wood Chip, you don't have the same speed perception. The bike being smaller makes the road seem wider. Yeah, maybe that's it. I don't know. I remember I was on a Honda 550, which is like remember the Honda 750s, the 4-cylinder crosswise engine? It was a Honda 550, and I was going down a road that kind of turns and sweeps up like this, and it's a 35 zone, but probably even in a car you want to go a little faster than that. And I remember coming through that turn, it just felt right. And I looked down, I was going 80. That's like, it just felt right. And it's like, okay. That's the day I realized that I probably shouldn't be doing this. Buffdale Campbell. Kim, that's a bad bike. Oh, her little,
So
her mini bike, the big
little mini bike, he's never ridden that. I have a bigger one. I have a CT 200, and it has the CVT transmission, the belt drive transmission, and it's a nice little bike. It'll go 45 on the.
It's one of the big headlamp and the windshield.
Yeah, it's got a headlamp and a windshield and everything. It's back over there. And we do have, Daniel Morrissey asked, do you have a video of Buff on the mini bike? There is a short, and I believe it was either last spring.
That's like a year ago.
Or it might have been a whole year earlier. It might be 2 whole years ago. I think it was last spring. I got him on it. Just he did a rip back and forth. And I was like, give me your phone. And he was like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I was like, give me your phone. And so he put it up there.
It's that thing, you know, I'm not as steady as I used to be. Yeah, the age thing. And I got on that bike and I thought, oh, this is going to be wrong attitude. I got on there like, this isn't any big deal. And I went across the yard, like we get this driveway that kind of goes up to the little road here. And it's like, uh-oh. I was like less than half throttle.
Not half.
That thing just took off.
Yeah, it grabs and goes.
I was like, oh man. I didn't like it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, because I know I shouldn't be on something like that.
Me neither, really. I need to sell it this year.
Well, and if you sell that,
expensive.
You can't.
Space.
And you said something when you said sell it. You go, I can't sell. I've got to sell it to an adult. I can't sell it to somebody that's going to buy it for their kid.
No.
The kid will get hurt. That bike is way too fast.
It's too fast. It's too heavy. It is not a kid's bike.
It's a Nostradamus.
Welcome
Is it Nostradamus?
Tonight we're working on the Del Campamino. It is a Mopar powered 1972 Plymouth Valiant that we have. It was a 4-door, and we have removed the rear door feature and turned it into a bed, and we are fitting the inside dressings of the bed. We did the rear sail panels in steel and the top there and everything. We fitted a rear. There is a window that fits perfectly into that hole.
Because that hole,
the back of the cab of a Ford Ranger.
Yeah, it's a Ford Ranger back cab.
It is a stylized tribute to go with. Show them the picture of
I'm gonna do that. It's gonna take
an Australian car that never existed in the United States, but in Australia they did get a version of the Valiant. They called it a Wayfarer, and it was in the tradition of.
It's going to take me. There's going to be some black screen here. It's going to take me a second to get this. Yeah, it's just, but it's going to.
There it is. It came up.
Oh, it did come up. Okay, for some reason.
There it is. Now there's some small styling differences, but this man here discovered because we had already built the motor and had this car running and driving, but he discovered that in Australia they started with the 4-door because it has the short 4-door front doors. So the dimensions, the wheelbase and everything are pretty much the same. You know, and you look at them now, both on screen at the same time. It does look a lot.
Yeah.
Very similar.
But
it's a tribute. It's not identical.
There are some things that are different.
Body line is different down here, and we're not going to try and
fix it. Yeah. And the taillights are different.
Yeah.
They use. What happened? I'm off the screen somehow.
I moved it.
Oh, you moved.
To see the car. But that's all right. We'll put you back on there.
Okay. So, oh yeah, that makes sense. So the like the taillights in Australia were different, and we're using the taillights from the American Valiant because they fit and it'll work. It's just fine. The grill and the trim up front's different on the Australian.
And Butte, Clark. That's right, Todd.
So
and we're talking about motorcycles because Because we talk about whatever we want. It's our show.
So, Nostradamus. Okay.
We know what you meant. Nostradamus. Yeah, that makes sense. It was fun, sad. I lost connection. Yeah, Todd, it's been.
What's this?
Connection issues are abound.
Where's this? I missed it. Something about the.
I guess Dean was saying something. He enjoyed the Todd. Yeah, I enjoyed your live interviews.
Okay.
Tried mead for the first time. Oh, that sounds like fun.
Tom P. Good evening. What is that? Stars. What does that mean? Right there.
I don't know, but welcome in.
Welcome in, Tom.
It's a new name that we're not familiar with, and a messaging that we're not familiar with either. But cool. Glad you're here. Welcome.
I'm going to click that out because we just had a commercial. So
it's Saturday night, and we're live on the internet. So, like,
Saturday night here.
People who are interested in cars and conversation and are looking for lives will probably find us. We are searchable. I think we've been doing this for a while. YouTube puts us up there, and every once in a while we get new people trickle in. Some people stay. Which is cool.
Years ago, many years ago, I had a 57 Ranchero, which is, a little car-like pickup truck. And then I had a 72 El Camino, same kind of thing, a car that's a pickup truck. And I really miss those. And I'm really going to enjoy this when it's done because it'll be
it's kind of neat.
Little light-duty pickup. Like you go to a gas station, you want to buy cans of gas. Well, you don't really want to put that in the car with you because then it spills a little and then the carpet stinks and all that. So having a little pickup's nice for that. But you don't need a big old, like these new pickup trucks where you need a ladder to reach the tailgate, So this is just a nice little thing, and I like it. And you know what, I've told this story before, but there's a lot of new people in here. We were going to do, it's a 4-door. I really don't like the 4-doors. So we were going to go get longer doors and then get the short hardtop.
Right.
And we found some of these pieces, and I was going to go buy them and make a...
But the glass is different.
Well, a 2-door
the doors are different.
But then we couldn't get glass. And the parts had rust on them. We were going to have to fix a lot of rust.
And we'd have to drive halfway across the state to get the parts. And the prices were really high 2 years ago when we were looking.
And then
grab one now.
Tavo, who's a guy from Australia that comes in here. I don't think he's here tonight, but he comes in.
Friend of the channel. Send us
his picture. That's his car. And he showed a picture of that. I'm like, wow, that's even got the 4-door short doors on it. And it looks pretty cool. Let's do that.
And we had already rebuilt the engine, and the transmission works great. The car is very drivable.
It's a great running car.
And it's solid. It's not all rotten. There's a couple rust spots, but all cars have them. But it's not all rotten. It's not like a salt or rust belt car. It's a Southern car.
So we just decided to do that. Yeah, Aussie inspired American custom.
And then, but now the more we look at it, the more Bondo we find in the body, because I'm like, now that we're making it sort of nice and spending more time like under, the magnifying glass, the project bloats. That whole side, I've stripped all the paint off that whole side. I'm hammering out the little dents. I'm drilling holes and pulling little stuff.
Well, this is a 70.
We put this door on it.
Oh yeah, originally they didn't have that door. They had because the filler neck has to go down underneath the bed and go in like this.
Yeah.
And the Valiant,
the original fill tube goes in at an angle like this. It just shoots
in the middle of the trunk. Well, you can't have that in a pickup.
You'll have it right in the bed. So now
the filler neck down under in Australia goes down under like this.
Goes down and then under the bed and into the thing.
But this one, she just pulled it off the
I
Ford
left it
Ranger,
off the side of the bedside.
and it's at a better angle. It goes underneath the pickup bed and everything, but it comes with this, but it doesn't have the right shape to go on the side of the car. So she just cut the whole thing off the Ford and put it on here. So now it's got a gas door, which looks kind of cool, I think.
Todd said, Kim, I went shopping for a camo jacket like yours. I couldn't find it. It was supposed to be there, but I looked all over and didn't see it. He's saying my camo shirt is invisible. You know what? I wear it out here in the shop because if I wear it in the studio, I'll be invisible.
See, there's a green screen, so everything green doesn't show, but the green screen means it doesn't show behind us. So once in a while I'm stupid and I put on a green shirt, and then it just looks like my head's floating around. It looks like not a headless person. Looks like a bodiless person. So I can't do that. She can't wear that. I've got so much camo stuff. Can't wear it.
Todd Saw says Bondo was the answer for everything in 1980. Oh yeah, they definitely used the cave and pave mentality on the door on the other side. It's just like they pulled out the big parts of the dent and then they just smashed all the high spots in and just put it in. And it's more than a 1/4 inch thick. And now that's
but
like,
she's
you would never, but you know
she ground a lot of that out.
I had to.
And she's out there fixing it. This car is a 72, and my guess is somewhere between 72 and maybe 75. It got clobbered pretty hard in a couple places, and they straightened it out by drilling holes and using a slide hammer and pulling it out some and mudding over.
Had a life.
So the amount of damage that's been on this car, I would guess that if it was more than 3 or 4 years old, it would have been totaled. So
it was all pretty superficial, but it was not like frame damage or anything.
No,
this body.
Yeah, because we've had cars with frame damage,
fender benders and stuff like that.
But
heavy parking lot damage.
Oh, Ford rules says I can't picture a Ranger. I have bust brain freeze. It's a smaller Ford pickup from the 80s or 90s. What is it?
Mid 80s to the early 90s. This was like an 87.
It's a little pickup truck. Was that a?
Don't scooch over this way just a bit.
You're gonna go try to find it.
Right.
Oh, this is what crashed this last time. Was bringing up the.
No.
You're gonna try. She's gonna mess with the computer.
Don't look. You'll be okay. Go ahead, talk.
Todd Saw, wear green. Eat buff headroom. Yeah. Well, Kim's gonna find it. She's gonna find a picture of it. Look, go up to images so you don't have to. You're gonna do it your way. Is this your drink?
Yes.
I think that's your drink. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring up all of them.
Sure. Just so he knows what it looks like.
Florida said Mazda had a copy. Yeah.
Bang.
I think it was after. It's these things. Which one is it, Kim?
What? That's all. That's basically what a Ford Ranger looked like. This little red one's a pretty good reference. There. That's what a Ford Ranger looks like.
So it's the back window and
the reason.
Then the forward part of the bed out of that thing, and then the inner parts of the bed and the floor are chopped up parts of this Ranger.
The reason we had the bed and the cab from a Ford Ranger was because I have a Ford Bronco 2 that needed an engine. So I bought the Ranger. The old guy said it had a bad transmission. So I bought it, brought it here, ran the engine. You run the engine all day. It didn't overheat or give you no problems. It ran fine. So I yanked the motor out of it and put it in a Bronco 2. We did that last winter. And then we had this leftover cab and bed, in an old clapped out stanky Ranger. It had an infestation of stink bugs in it. It was horrible. And mouse nests and stuff.
And that guy drank Mellow Yellow.
Mellow
Cans
Yellow.
of Mellow Yellow.
Man.
And he threw every can of Mellow Yellow
And wasps. It was
in the back of that bed. It was heaping full of thousands of cans, and I mean thousands of cans, empty cans of Mellow Yellow, which was infested with bees. So when we got it back here, we had.
It sat here a while, but we came up with a plan.
Oh my God! Can you fix this?
Oh yeah.
Because it looks.
We didn't have to do any of it, but we wanted something to do.
There. Now we got our.
We decided this would be a fun project, that people would be entertained. And we had this car, and it's just sitting there like, are we going to do something with that car? And we decided this is what we wanted to do with it. So there we are.
Well, see, and I was going to get some sheet metal and start making a back wall or a forward wall for the pickup bed, and try to figure out where I was going to get glass. And Kim went out there and chopped the back out of that Ranger.
Oh, I made a video of that. Was it on my channel or your channel?
I don't know which channel it was on, but she made a video of it. And
you could.
Oh, look at this. Ford rule says, by the way, Drag Boss has a new carburetor with one big oval secondary. That sounds like a 3-barrel Holly, which we were talking about earlier. Maybe it's a new one.
Yeah.
But
the
3-barrel Holly was like a big oval secondary.
Here, throw the other camera up first.
Throw the other camera. I have to. I got wheel chocks under me. Gloves. I'm running over gloves with my chair, and then it won't roll. I don't know why there's gloves down. Now I'm over in front of all this. Mm-hmm. And Luis is saying, Mexican spec, donde estás? Then I could say it in Russian, где Mexican spec?
Go ahead and throw the other camera view up there.
I'm looking for it. I can find the camera, I can't find the cursor. Oh, there's the window. Oh yeah, and it's got a slider. So we'll be able to slide that window open.
Nice cab window, slider and everything that we can use. So I thought it would be a really nice thing. It fits in here. We got it all fitted in here. And it is integrated welded into the...
Okay, I'm changing cameras?
Yep. It's part of the unibody now.
So, yeah, we're working on it. Tom P. says, what is that? Ford with a 0 in it? Ford? You don't like Fords? Or you do like Fords?
Dodge mixed up.
Yeah, it's a
mixed up.
Well, like Andy Wood says, a mixed up boss. This is a mixed up Mopar.
Is it a Dord or a Fudge?
Braden says, I'm a little giddy tonight.
Good for you, Braden.
Braden, how's the job? When do you start your job? I forget what it was that you were doing, but you got a job. And I think that's pretty cool. He says he's going to have money for a car pretty soon. He was saying that on, man, I saw him in he was in Mexican Specs Live earlier. Inspector Bruce says, cursor foiled again. You know, when I get more than one screen, sometimes I can't find the cursor, and I'm like,
sometimes it just
goes somewhere, and I don't know where it is.
Yeah, you got to wiggle it around until...
Have you ever been to the Knoxville Nationals? But no. We don't go many places. My career, which was some cars, but mostly aircraft, I traveled I was always on the road. And I had this house. I said to Kim, I said, man, right now we've had this house for 20 years. But I bet I haven't spent but a few years here because I was always on the road, traveling everywhere, staying in hotels and everything. You know, it's so good to be home that I like being home. Although I do like going to No Name Nationals every year. There's a couple other things I like to do. But it's so good to be home. Man. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, Cheese Factory. working at a cheese factory, cutting mold off cheese wheels to be processed and bagged.
That doesn't sound so bad.
I started that on Friday. I go in Monday through Friday, 7 to 12:30. Well, that sounds...
Doing cheese processing does not sound like such a terrible job. It beats digging a ditch or going to war or
there's some jobs
farming.
There's some jobs that pay well that I wouldn't want to do. Top of the list. It's like dentist. I would never want to be a dentist. That's not where I want to work. And I knew a guy that was a loadmaster in a C-5, big old giant Air Force transport airplane. And I was talking to this guy, and he was in school. He goes, I'm just about finished school. I'm going to be a dentist. And I said, man, that's a job I'd never want. He goes, why not? And I go, well, it's just I don't want to work in there. And I said, and then sometimes people have pain from that, and I don't want to be the one in there giving it. He goes, I look forward to being a dentist because I want to be the dentist that doesn't cause pain to people. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. And he goes, I really want to be a dentist. I said, I'm really glad there's people like you around, But dentist was like, that would be the worst job I could ever have. I don't know. In Belarus, of course, it's a valiant effort. He had to say that.
Somebody had to say it. Good job.
Oh, we can talk to our manager, and she'll talk to certain companies, and there's certain companies where they'll bring us 2 pounds of their cheese, and we get to take a lot of it home. And
yeah, you will never see cheese again after this job. Cheese.
Man, I knew a guy that worked. I was going to tell you something about Kim because she buys a lot of cheese, and I steal a little of it, but she eats most of it. But I do like cheese. The problem with cheese is it's I'm trying to keep the weight off. But a friend of mine, when he got out of the Air Force, he was up in this is in Travis Air Force Base. There was a Budweiser, I think it was Budweiser beer plant there where they make beer, and he had a job in there, and he goes, we're allowed to drink all the beer we want while we're at work. And he goes, it's great. We can just go over there and all day we can just drink beer. And he goes, you know what though? After about 2 weeks, he goes, I didn't even like the smell of beer anymore, so I couldn't stand it. He says, after you work in that building and you smell it all day long, he goes, you never want beer again. I thought that was pretty funny. So, but darn well if they told you weren't allowed to drink beer, everybody'd be sneaking it. Todd saw Knoxville Raceway in August every year. Y'all should consider it. Knoxville Nationals are kind of a big deal. I'd love to go. To me, the best race is No Name Nationals because it's one of these race what you bring. And there's some fast cars there, but then there's things like the 6-cylinder darts and stuff.
We get to see everybody. It's
just fun, and we get to see everybody. And yeah, Braden says, go to Eldora Speedway for the Eldora to the World 100 at Tony Stewart Speedway in Roseburg, Ohio. Man. We used to say in 1966, 60 years ago, Le Mans, which is Le Mans, 66. Four rules. I could do that job. Use a sure form to shave the cheese. You know what a sure form is? You know that cheese grater file I have for doing Bondo? That's a sure form file. That's the real name, is a sure form file. Oh man, that would work very well on cheese, but they probably wouldn't like that.
I'm sure they have something like that.
And then the next thing I think of is you could fill the dents and stuff in a car with cheese.
No, you can't.
Why does that car smell so bad? Well, because cheese got old.
Or so good.
Put thick enough paint over it, you won't smell the cheese.
Carby Jones says, a dentist told me, this is going to hurt like hell. You're going to want to punch me. Please don't. Tom. My thing is the dentist, I'm not going to the dentist unless I'm in a lot of discomfort. So the dentist is going to fix it. So he's my friend.
The dentist job is better than the proctologist. Yeah, you know the joke about that. Yeah, I had to go to the proctologist today, and you know that guy put one hand on on one shoulder. Wait a minute, no, he put the other hand on my shoulder.
That joke. You're done.
Wait a minute.
You're done.
He had both hands
No.
both hands on both shoulders. Okay, I won't say any more of that.
Okay.
No, but I don't want to be.
They either heard the joke or they're not going to hear it from us.
I don't want to be a proctologist. And that would probably pay well. There's other jobs that I don't know. I know a guy that drove a sprint car. Sprint cars. And I had a real bad problem with sprint cars and when I had my radiator shop, sponsoring a couple of sprint cars. That's the way to go, bro. I understand that problem. But he had a chrome front axle. And to chrome the front axle, it's chromoly tubing. And it gets hot, so you gotta cool it off slowly or it gets brittle. So they chromed the axle, and his wife worked in a grocery store where they had a bakery, and the bakery, the items in the bakery or something they were cooking was in this rack, and this rack would go around like this, and it'd go through this heat and cooling cycle, so you could see the items, but then it went through the heat again. So they got the thing out of the chrome shop, wrapped it in blankets, drove as fast as they could over the grocery store. They went in there at night, and they put the axle in this heater and they ran it in there all night and slowly cooled this axle down and put it back on the sprint car. And you know what happened? The next time he's out, he gets tangled up in something, hits the wall, and bends that axle. So they got to go through that whole thing again. But that's why his wife worked in the grocery store, so they could slowly cool his axle. Oh, God. Septic tank pumper, yeah.
I did that job for a year. I was not exclusively doing that, but that was part of the job. I probably serviced 100 septic tanks in a year. I don't know, maybe some days we did 3 or 4, but most days we did 1 or less.
And Braden's talking about all these people that are the super late models. Man, I don't know what happened. When I started going to sprint car racing, and then I knew some of the people, and of course I was in the automotive business, and pretty soon, I looked like it was good advertising, have my name up on the wing and everything, and so I had my shop name on a couple of sprint cars. But then I built the radiators for them, and I gave them money, and every time they crashed, they needed more money. Oh, man, you can go broke with that. I spent a lot of money on sprint cars.
Do you know what time it is?
I don't know what time. It's 10:58.
It's overtime. That's right. If you're here, you made it to the end of regular, like our stream. We put in our requisite 2 hours of effort here. Everything beyond here is gravy. So thanks for hanging out. I'm not saying we're done. I'm just saying, like, we did our job, which is putting in 2 hours.
If we stick around 2
hours... We're not
hours,
doing a 6-hour stream tonight.
If we stick around 2 more hours,
what?
It'll actually look like we've been here 3 more hours. Because in 2 more hours, we move the clock. It won't be 2 o'clock. It'll be 3 o'clock. It'll just jump like magic.
Well,
and then that clock up on the wall that we never changed when they changed the clocks, it'll once again be correct.
Well, that and a bring your own K-cup at the office will get you a cup of coffee. Good luck with that. Hey, so thanks everybody who's here. You're all going to get bonus points. Like a performance bonus, that's absolutely right. You all get 3 points for being here at this point in time and hanging out. Thank you so much. And for contributing. I'm sorry if we're missing some of the conversations. You're allowed to repeat yourself if we're missing your conversation. Just don't spam the chat.
I think Tim's dog. Is Tim's dog Abby? Because that's why he goes to bed when the dog starts going.
Tim, great job with your with getting those videos out. I hope that you're slowly building up some new subscribers. If you guys haven't checked out Tim's channel, Tim's 72 Demon channel, he is trying to get his 500 subscribers for No Name Nationals. He is making content from videos that he recorded last year at the event. So he's kind of compiling them and making short videos. And they are, to the point and entertaining. They introduce you to some of the people, show you some of the cars of what happened at that event. So, I think it's worthwhile to check out Tim's channel and see what he's doing there and drop him a subscribe if you would be so kind. I think a lot of you already have, but if you haven't, please do. Because we're always here offering people more gravy.
Man, here we go. We got to turn the Studebaker on. I don't know if Kim's going to dance.
I'll try and dance.
Okay.
I don't know.
We got super chat, so we got super lights on the Studebaker.
I need a
Thank
song.
you, Lester LeSabre. You can dance without a song.
It's hard to dance without a song.
Because you do a song, then YouTube will get mad.
Yeah.
YouTube will get mad. You can't do songs. You just have to, it's like the silent dance. Kim's going to do the dance. We got the super chat lights on. Thank you, sir.
That's very generous of you.
Carbide Jones says, love you too. Very fun. Tim, thanks for the promo.
We want to see people be successful. So if you are here and you don't already know, you are allowed to self-promote in our channel. We permit you to do that. We want you to. Because there is more than enough success in the world for everyone. We want to see you be wildly successful, more than we are. We want you to achieve your goals and your potential, and you could do that off our backs, off our shoulders. You could be like, springboard off of our channel and become greater than we ever would. And we will cheer you the whole way.
Save the battery. There.
Because that's just the kind of place this is. We're here for community. Of course, we would love to be wildly successful and make lots of money, but it's not happening, and that's okay. I'm not disappointed. I still get to work on my car. I get to be here with Buff Del Campo.
Hey, Kim,
it's been a giant adventure, and you all get to come along, and I like it.
Kim has a hard time riding long distances in a car.
It's
just too
Maybe
uncomfortable.
I can get some stronger
But I was just thinking about something. We're going to have, we made the back of that window back far enough that the seats will recline some. They won't go way back, but those seats will recline some because we put some bucket seats in it. They're different seats, and they fit really nice in there. It just is nice. But I'm thinking, if you can ride in that thing with the seats back and you can change positions, have some pillows in this car, I might be able to go get my hair cut. And you know where we can go to get my hair cut? Petaluma, California.
Tim put the 90 subs. That's great, Tim.
You know why we'd go to Petaluma, California?
For a haircut.
Because
trim.
Daniel Morrissey is a barber in Petaluma, California. Wouldn't it be fun to drive this out there? I don't know.
No.
I'm not.
Not until this front suspension's done. Who was it now? Dean Stevenson says, unlike others, we don't blow it on cheap wine and hookers, but on pumps and hoses. Listen, don't try and tell me what I am allowed and not allowed to do in my free time. But I don't drink wine, so no.
Yeah, I think I wasted. No, I spent most of my money on wine and women, and then I wasted the rest of it. Who wasn't? Somebody famous said that. I don't know, an old actor, like silent film kind of guy. I thought it was pretty funny. I've always remembered that.
Put a Procharger on it. Oh man, I saw one.
The moonwalk. I got to learn how to do the moonwalk.
I saw one a while back. I should buy that. And then it sold, and I haven't seen one even close to that price since, and I cannot spend. I mean, they're expensive, but we do have a turbo.
We have a new turbo, and we got a bunch of tubing, and we got an intercooler, all this stuff, and that's the plan, is to put it on this car. That was the plan to begin with, to put it on this Valiant. She's over there digging in a cabinet. We have the Mopar mystery.
Everybody wants to see the turbo.
The Mopar mystery cabinet.
Ugh.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There's part of it.
Here's the turbo setup. And this is some cheap Chinese turbo. But you know what?
Okay,
I've got...
If I win the lotto, I'll sponsor the channel. Oh, the tools. Well, thank you, sir. Are you playing the lotto?
Okay, yeah, that's right. Here is the... What's this here? Magnets.
Magnets?
I found some magnets.
Magnets?
I got this piece cut out, and Buff Del Campo said he was going to figure out this bolt pattern and make this plate. And then I have... You want to hold this? Or you want me to put it on the floor?
I don't want. Well, I don't know what. You mean just like hold
this
it forever?
This is a turbocharger. Nah, here, I'll put it over here. You need it so that we can work out this pattern.
Okay, but we need to not get it all full of dust and dirt. So
I know.
That means I need to have that. We need to cover this. Put some little piece of cloth or something in the hole so dirt and dust doesn't go in there. Oh yeah, and here's the manifold.
Here's the manifold. I split the manifold. We brazed mild steel rings to the cast iron manifolds. And then I used like plate steel, like the 16 gauge that's laying in there.
Well, and this point won't be there. That's just...
This needs lopped off straight, which is no problem. That's how I designed it. And then that plate that I just showed you over there needs mounted with the holes so the turbo can mount. And this will go mount onto the Super 6 intake that's on that engine. And it will increase the horsepowers pretty good. How many horsepowers extra do you think it'll give?
I don't know. Depends on how high we crank it up. How much are we going to allow it to have?
I will bet that we can add 30 horsepower. You think we can get 30 extra horsepowers?
So instead of being 145,
yeah, it'll be
170.
Which will be, I mean, you'll feel the difference. And it'll make that noise. And we can put the sticker up, the badge on it that says turbo. And people will be like, what the hell is that? And that's a Turbo Del Campo.
You know who we haven't seen?
That is some custom smoke.
Turbo Del Campo. You know, the guy that always says that. That's Ari. Has anybody seen Ari? Ari got a new job up in Washington. Yeah, he's pretty busy working.
He stops in.
He does stop
every couple weeks, but he's busier than he.
He's back with the electric cars, working on the.
I miss seeing Ari's lives. That was fun, but
I liked Ari's lives. He's doing the. Here I am. Come pull the name up. What's those pickup trucks? The electric ones, cool looking ones.
Wait, the Apache?
The Apache's is gas powered one that's his. He took the 6-cylinder and put a V8 in. The Rivian, the ones he works on. Yeah, Ari. If you know Ari, if you've been in here, he's one of our mods. Just haven't seen him in a while. And he worked for Rivian for a while and working on prototype stuff. And now he was in Southern California. Now he's moved up to Washington and he's doing like service work on Rivians, which is pretty interesting. Probably a good job.
Lester LeSabre says, I hope you have better luck than Jamie with the Turbo Slant 6.
Well, the way I look at it is if you expect this to be a really fast car, it's not going to be. If the turbo bumps like she says, like 20, 30 horsepower up, it'll feel better. It'll look cool. It'll be fine.
Well, didn't Jamie have a friend who had a pickup truck with a Slant 6? And they put the turbo stuff on that truck, and it ripped. So, I mean, and there are people who have done it. It can be done successfully. And we've just been taking our time. It's not a priority.
And I look at what Jamie did. You know, he showed up at No Name Nationals with the original first generation Plymouth Barracuda, you know, with the big wraparound window on the back, with a Dodge Dart front end on it, so it looks like kind of like It's what the Dodge Challenger should have been. So it's a Dodge Dart Valiant Barracuda mix with a little 273 in it and a manual transmission. I don't know what he did to that car, but it does wheelies. And it's fast.
Fun time.
So, I mean, that's what Jamie expects out of his cars, is a little engine that rips, you know. Well, if you turbo a slant six, it's probably not going to do that. You know? So,
Barracuda says most slant six exhaust manifolds develop a split in the middle behind. Ever welded that?
Well, that's why we split it to begin with.
Well,
that's what she was showing you, is that she cut that in half, so that will never happen. And then she made that steel thing that's in the middle that has the points that still need to be cut off. That's a flexible joint she made, so that it can't do that.
This is the center of that manifold, and you see, I cut both sides, this side and that side off.
And she made a flexible joint that goes in there,
yeah.
So that won't happen.
And the reason they did it this way is because it was cheapest. And the reason I did it my way is because it will work. So, you know, Jamie does a lot. And that slant six was, yeah.
Yeah, Tim says, I showed Jamie's CUDA on a couple of my videos. Yeah, go look at Tim's videos that he just did. That last one, I think you had a couple of races in there with Jamie. And I remember seeing that thing pulling the wheels off. Little 270. They kind of made an exception for him to be in the, what is the class called? The Triple Crown class.
They did,
because his engine was too small.
Yeah.
Yet he was quite competitive and was doing wheelies with that little engine. And it wasn't. He didn't have any power adders on it.
And Tim says he'll be able to run against JB.
Do we have any mods?
JB's little shop's trash truck, and Blake's Buick Grand National. They're all sixes. Your car's a 6. This car's a 6. My car's a 6. The fellow with the Z car, that's an inline 6. There's a lot of fun 6s out there. We had a really good field of 6-cylinder cars this past year, and I think we're going to keep it going.
Who else is 6?
It's fun.
Somebody else is. Oh, the guy that came here. I can't think of his name.
Oh, yeah, RC Industries.
RC Industries, Rick. Yeah, doesn't he have a slant 6 and a?
I think he's going to have a different vehicle this year.
Okay.
I think he has a burnout truck this year.
Because he has a.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to bring that truck again. I know it's for sale. If anybody's looking for a well-loved truck. The thing of it is he spent a lot of time bringing it around. So but he has it available. So
Ford Rule says, but 10 psi will add 2/3 the cubic inches. 15 psi is 1 atmosphere. Well, yeah, but I'm not trying to break the engine.
Well,
my guess is, what I told Kim is this: I'd like to have 4 or 5 pounds of boost on it, because that'll just make it a nice, reliable engine. It won't be rattling and pinging. You know,
a slant 6 is especially a 225. I mean, that's 3.7 liters. It's a big inline 6. It's got a bunch of main bearings. It's got a big, heavy crankshaft in it. The biggest problem with it is they just don't breathe that well, because they have tiny, tiny valves and tiny, tiny ports.
But you ported it. You cleaned it. Well, she cleaned the ports all up. So we did a video. That's one of our best videos.
Yeah, it is. From years ago.
You can search that. Bucktail Camp old slant 6 port, something like that. You'll find that.
Forced induction. Those engines should respond to forced induction.
And Tim, here's another one. Walter and Anna's 6-cylinder Mustang. Of course, she'll be in her Mustang this year with it.
Walter knows what he's doing.
His has a 6, but hers has a 351 Windsor in it.
Walter knows how to turn a wrench. He knows what he's doing, and he's diligent. He's putting in the hours. He's putting in the work. Even when I don't think he's making a lot of videos right now, but I know he's putting in the work. He's just that kind of guy.
Luis says, I'm so glad you to going a Mopar El Camino and can't wait for this. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry it's taking so long. Because I know on TV shows, without the commercials, an hour TV show is 37 minutes. And I know they build a complete restoration in 37 minutes on TV. But, it takes like a year to build a car. So, and then we had all that cold weather. We weren't up here for a few weeks. So we're at it again. So it's going to take a while, but it'll be done. It'll be nice. And then we'll drag the next car in here, which will probably be an aluminum car.
We got parts and stuff. Honestly, we can play. We'll start with something very reasonable. And if it's working out right and we can get it dialed in, we'll just keep cranking. If something breaks it, we won't lose the farm. Because this is a fun car. This isn't what we drive although we will drive. I'd love to drive it to the market, but we have a vehicle now, and we have 2 vans. We have, how many trucks do we have? 4?
We don't have any trucks. You have a fleet of trucks that were all bought as pushmobiles.
I did. When I got to Plymouth, I was like, look, it's not rusty at all. I have to buy it. And he was like, why? I'm like, I just can't look at it. I need to buy it. And he was like,
she came from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so she got here and she found out there were older cars that didn't have rust.
No rust.
And she just kept buying all these
junk cars.
Trucks that didn't run.
Junk cars.
Filled my yard with cars that don't run. I go, what are you doing? So now we cut them up and we make other shit out of them. Oh, Daniel Morrissey, this is the fun of the show. When it's done, it's done. We always have conversation. Turn up the boost until it blows. Yeah, and then I saw back here where was it? It was Dean says, oh, Jim, whoever that is, Jim Alphabet, response to, I'm not trying to break the engine. Why the hell not? Yeah, well, I kind of want it I want to use this thing for a while. I used to live out west.
Break the rear end is what will break.
We've got rear ends around.
See? It's fine.
I used to live out west, where I was pretty close to Rocky Mountains, where you got to go up through 11,000-foot passes, and the engines get really anemic up there. But when you have a turbo up there, it just goes over the Rocky Mountains real nice. But we don't have such high mountains out here. But that would be an excuse to go out.
There's good air in Sykeston. The cars run real nice.
It would be nice to drive this thing with a turbo on it out to Petaluma, because you'd have to go up across the Rocky Mountains and the Sierras. You've never been across. Oh, you've been across the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, you drove.
We drove up the High Plains.
You drove
the Rockies. That was wild.
You drove from Pittsburgh to Portland? So you went out I-80 a lot of the way. So, yeah, I mean, going across Wyoming, you're at 11,000 feet. No, you're higher than that, I think. You're way the hell up there going across Wyoming. Yeah, in the car. I know you were driving one of those
little Ford Transit van.
Transit?
The little one.
Transit
Express?
Is that what they call it?
I don't know. The little Transit.
The little Transit. Ford Transit. Transit. I can't remember the name of that.
Have you been to see E.T. at the movies? E.T. was in the movies for a long time.
So, her friend that owned the, what do they call it, Transit? She's getting upset with her because you start going up a little bit of a hill, it would downshift. She goes, why are you going so fast? Well, it isn't.
I'm just trying to keep the speed up.
There's no air up there, so the engine's trying to keep the thing going faster, so it'd kick down, So, Petaluma is waiting for us. You'd like Petaluma. It'd be an interesting place to go.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, that's a trip I want to definitely do in the summertime, because I don't want to go across the Rockies in the wintertime.
Well, Tim says the snow's almost gone.
So
Tomorrow he'll be in the garage working on his truck. Love to see that truck running for you, Tim. I know you've been working on that thing for a while. The time just flies when you're having fun.
Tim says, you just read that. Garage so I can finish my engine install. Yeah, you've been working on the engine install for a while, and the winter got in the way. But he says, I'm from Boston. Rust is a factory option. Well, that must be like Ohio. And in Ohio, 10 years the cars, it's not even safe to drive anymore. I first got to Ohio. I just wanted to drive around a little bit and see what the area looked like. And I go out of Geneva, Ohio, and out of there's a 2-lane highway that goes south out of town. And you go across a river, and then it's a long downhill road. So I start down this hill, and as I come over, there's a Chevy pickup coming up the other way, coming toward me. So here's the fender on the driver's side, and it's going whap, 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 and that fender's sticking straight out and coming back down and slapping the side of the truck and go. Well, it's because it was so rusted out that it was just like a piece of loose sheet metal flapping. So that thing could cut me in half. I move way over as this flapping thing goes by. So I couldn't believe somebody's driving that. But there were a lot of cars like that in Ohio. I'd never seen anything like that. What's this?
Good Ohio car.
Good Ohio car. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. In Pennsylvania, they inspect the cars, so you can't have any rough edges.
No.
So if you got rough edges like from rust, you got to take that car to a body shop and get that fixed before you can get the inspection passed. So you see cars for sale. I lived in Pennsylvania for a while. You see cars for sale, and I live right near the Ohio border. It'll say right in the ad, "Good Ohio car." That means it's a rusty piece of crap. Yeah. And it'll never pass the inspection in Pennsylvania. Oh, Charles. Oh, I know he's talking about the people on MASH. I'll let people read that Dean Stevenson comment. Petaluma, we are 13 feet above sea level. Well, it probably won't flood. It's got a big tsunami. But you're inland enough. Wow, 13 feet above sea level. That's almost turbocharged. See, when I go over to I worked for a while at NAFL Central, which is in Southern California, and they had a water tower there with a line painted on the water tower, and it said sea level. So we were quite a bit below sea level, like maybe 100 feet or something. And so that's almost like being turbocharged, because you're going the other direction. You're going where there's more barometric pressure, not less, like when you go up in the mountains. I used to think about that. We're below sea level.
That's crazy stuff.
Daniel Morrissey. Bay Area is beautiful. Tons of car people. Yeah, I was at Travis Air Force Base for a long time, and I used to like to go over into Vacaville after work because it was warmer over there in the summertime. But at Travis, that sea breeze coming in from San Francisco Bay, you just middle of summer, you just freeze out there from that moist wind hitting you. I remember just unlatching my car door to just rip it out of my hand from that cold breeze. And all you have to do is go over the hill into Vacaville, and it'd be warm. Very cool. Petaluma, American Graffiti filming location. I guess it was. Yeah, Harrison Ford. You're right, Luis. Harrison Ford was a pilot too. What did did some screw up? What the hell? Oh, he landed on a taxiway. Went right over the top of an airliner. Taxiway. Got in some trouble. Yeah.
You would?
He knew it as soon as he did it, and then he was like, he called, Tower told him to call. He called, confessed to him. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Do what you got to do. I'm in trouble. Man. We all make mistakes. Daniel, this Tim says I lived up in Santa Rosa for about 15 years. Santa Rosa had a really good car show I used to go to. When I was at Travis Air Force Base, I'd go to that car show. And it was a fun place. Lisa's Mask, or MASH, M-A-S-H. It's the H and the K mixed up. Like, I don't know. Tomorrow's Sunday. I can't go to that little store on Sunday because they're closed. It's pointless. So an 85 Camaro was a flying car? I thought the flying car was a Matador. Didn't they make a flying car for some movie that was like a 74 Matador? I know they did.
Oh, yeah.
Because
it was a Bond movie.
I went to a museum in Las Vegas. They got a museum there. It's all movie cars. And they have this flying Matador there.
Good night, Tim. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, take care, man. His dog started telling.
Buddy Carfano said, I changed out many rusty brake and fuel lines. I changed out more than a few, and it was because, I got the car because it didn't have no brakes. And it was like, oh, well, it probably needs a brake line. I'd sort it out, usually. In
Ohio?
Learned a lot.
I didn't always have airplane work. And when I didn't have airplane work, there were a couple of buy here, pay here used car lots that would, they as soon as I didn't have work, yeah, come work for us. And I'd be fixing rust and on the bodies and fixing fuel lines and brake lines. And I did so much of that because like every car in Ohio, it has leaky fuel and no brakes. People would trade cars in at the used car lot because the brake would go to the floor and they didn't have any brakes and it'd be leaking gas and they'd go get an estimate and they couldn't afford it and they'd go trade it in on a car that somebody had already fixed that stuff. I fixed a lot of it. Man. Dean Stevenson says, trillion? Trillion? What's trillion? Sounds like some kind of debt. But a flying Pinto is what, the flying Pinto. It wasn't a movie car. It was a real car. And they made some mistakes on that. And it killed the principles of the company because they were all riding around in it up in the air and it broke. And down it came. Is anybody interested in what happened? The wings, high wing airplane up like this. And it's not a cantilevered with the wing inside, with the structure inside the wing. It has struts that came down that hold the wings from going like this. So those struts go down and they bolt on the side of the fuselage of the airplane. But they got to bolt to something substantial, and there's a cross member under there that's got to be strong enough because it's pulling like this, because those wings, you don't want them to go up like that. Well, they bolted it on something on the bottom of the Pinto, which, the structure wasn't meant to hold that kind of stress. And so it broke. And the wings went like this, and the whole thing came to the ground. And the principals of the company in it, so end of the company. Too bad they didn't do that right, because it was kind of an interesting thing. Bad engineering. Dean Stevenson, Marvin, Paranoid, and Daniel Morrissey. We have a car show in Santa Rosa, California, north of Petaluma, 14 miles away. Father's Day at Juilliard Park. Show and shine. Great show. What I remember was a car show every year in Santa Rosa. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was inside a building. All the cars were indoors, and they usually had a band in there. And that was, and I said his name in here the other night.
Boy, we didn't drop a single frame tonight.
But Yeah, it was indoors. So this is outdoors. Different car show, but that's pretty good. 12 feet of standard atmospheric air pressures, 0.006 psi, says Lester LeSabre. Rugrats Go Wild chase scene, bullet train. Bruce Willis. Santa Rosita is where I meant, says Barracuda. Inspector Bruce. Oh, Norman Greenbaum. Yep, that's who used to always play at that car show. Norman Greenbaum. If I see Norman Greenbaum on a show in Santa Rosa or Petaluma, I'll say hello. He won't remember me. He won't remember this name, that's for sure. Oh, and then I was dark hair, military mustache, or I didn't have a mustache because it was a pain in the ass in the military to keep the little short mustache. And I was 20. Now I'm 72. Norman is 83 now. Oh yeah, he was a young guy. So he's 11 years older than me? Yeah, could have been. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just some groupie at the car show. Rob Royce. Good evening. 007 Man with the Golden Gun, 1974.
Oh, that's where the airplane was.
Oh, okay.
You get 2 points for giving us the details. We knew we saw it.
I saw that.
We looked it up before.
I'm not much of a movie guy, so I had friends take me to that museum, and we walked around, and I saw stuff. I had to go afterwards and go look up what the movies were, because I took pictures all in there, and they had another, what was the car? It was a car that went underwater, some kind of British car that was they put like fins on it and stuff so it would steer around underwater. Didn't have any wheels on it anymore. What was that thing? It was some kind of a Lotus or something. I don't know what that car was in. Right, yeah. That car was in there. There were all kinds of cars in that museum. Pretty interesting place.
Ronson cigarette lighters. You know what? I have a Ronson hand warmer. It uses lighter fluid.
It's a burning thing you put your hands in? Has lighter fluid in it?
Yeah, it's like a catalytic burning thing,
God,
and you
really?
put it in your pocket to keep you warm.
Ford Rolls is right. It was a Lotus Esprit, which is a car I like until they did that to it.
All right, all the people saying a Lotus, you all get 2 points as well.
Inspector Bruce says
thank you for being participants.
Lotus Elite, but I think it was a Lotus Esprit.
I don't care. You said Lotus, then that was correct.
Inspector Bruce says Esprit is right.
Okay.
The first generation Lotus Esprit had a little slant 4-cylinder engine in it, and the later ones had some kind of British V8. But that first generation Lotus Esprit, I love the way that thing looks, and I just figured like some kind of an American V8 it's just like it was made for a V8. I always thought like some kind of American V8 would just be really good in there, but even that Lotus engine would probably be fun. But it was the first generation one that I really liked the looks of that thing. Man. Oh, but those things, that's another cult car. People want so much for those. I'll never have them. But we'll build an aluminum car.
Okay.
That's our next project, I think, will be the aluminum car. Although we could drag the Studebaker in here and get it running, or we could.
We got a Chevy 350 on the stand. It'd be nice to get it out of here. We'll put it in something.
We could put that in the Studebaker like the original plan was. I don't think I want to. I kind of wanted to put that in the Mercury Zephyr, but I don't think I'll do that. That's a swap I really don't want to do. I'm kind of liking that thing with the 6-cylinder in it. It's enough. Lotus position, says Dean Stevenson.
It runs so good. If it was worn out or giving you some kind of problems, but it runs really good. Even though that carburetor is junk, it still runs really good. If anything, we'll put one of those things that Thunderhead 289 makes.
Carb
cheater.
That's what I really want to do that car, is put a good carburetor on it, which means just getting a good carburetor, and put a carb cheater on it. I really want to do that, is put a carb cheater on that thing. That is the real lean burn system that If Chrysler had thought of that, that would have worked. I mean, that guy's what's his name? Thunderhead. I can't think of his name.
Luke.
Luke. What a smart dude, man. He's a car guy. He's got a degree in some kind of computer engineering or something, and he did that. As soon as I saw it, I thought, man, what a great idea. And I've thought about that so many times, wanting to do that to that car. And that's really the only thing about that car that's a little bit bad. If you shut that thing off when it's warm and come back out like 20 minutes later, it doesn't want to start because the fuel boils over and goes down the carburetor, and so it floods a little bit. So you got to crank it, boom, and it starts up.
And there's no charcoal canister like there should be, so it doesn't boil out into the charcoal canister. It just boils out.
Ford says, I sent a picture of a DeSoto red in great shape. Okay, I'm not going to check my email right now. We'll see it on Tuesday. Tuesday night, we'll be showing the pictures. And man, I thought of something else.
What's that?
I want to get everybody ready for this. Tuesday night, what are we doing Tuesday night? I forget what car. We're doing a year, right?
Picked a year?
Didn't we pick a year for Tuesday night? Who was here and remembers what we're doing for our theme on Tuesday nights?
I don't know, but Barry Cuda says, sometimes I'm looking for my reading glasses in bed, and I'm wearing them.
Oh, I've done that.
I know.
I've done that.
We've all lost our mind.
Looking for my glasses, I can't find them because they're on my face.
Dean says he lays awake at night looking at the moon and wonders, is it also flat?
1968. We got two people saying 1968. It must be 1968.
All right, you both get 2 points for knowing what's up.
I'm choosing three people saying
so
1968.
Yeah, see, they're on the ball.
Okay, so we'll do 68. The week after that, I'm going to choose the topic.
Oh,
it's going to be.
You better tell us now, or we won't.
Ugly cars.
Ugly cars.
Ugly designs. For example, there are people that say, I don't agree with this, but there are people that say
Aztec.
Okay, the Aztec. People say that was an ugly car. And there are people that say what was the little AMC bubble car, the Pacer. People say the AMC Pacer was ugly. But there are some cars that were made back in the 50s and 60s and 70s. That's kind of the era of cars we work with. That definitely got hit with the ugly stick. And I kind of want to do that on not the next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. See, Dean Stevenson says something I don't agree with. And I don't know how to pronounce that French word right. Citroen. Yeah, and Ford Rules says the Gremlin. I love the Gremlin. And that one with the 429 Ford, it was black and had a little spoiler wing on it. Oh my God, was that thing fun, and I like the way it looked.
Wow, you guys get extra days to prepare.
But there are a lot of people that are going to agree with you that think that the Gremlin, and see, Lester Saber says ugly cars is a great idea.
We could also do some more modern ugly cars.
And then there's stupid. Dean Stevenson says all Citroens, Citroen, I don't know how you pronounce it. Try to sound like a Frenchman. And then Ford Rules says, I love Citroens. Well, you know the one that people call it a 2CV, the Doucheville. Doucheville is a pretty ugly car. But the big spaceship looking one, when it came out in 55, that was like 100 years ahead of time. I remember seeing that thing when I was a little kid. It looked like a spaceship running around. Dad, what is that? What is that car? He didn't know. My father didn't know. He knew a lot of stuff. But he had to go up and read, oh, that's a French car, he'd tell me. And then a few years later, they had the lights that on that car that went around the corners with the lights that we didn't get in America, but they were like that in Europe. I think that Citroen was way ahead of its time. I think it was a pretty cool looking car. But there's a lot of people going to think it was ugly. Buddy Carl says Mustang 2. The Mustang 2, I always said was the best looking Pinto ever made. The suspension, everything was kind of it was an outgrowth of Pinto stuff. Although I don't think anything was interchangeable. But it was a lot like the Pinto. I think it's a pretty decent car. but I think didn't look very good. But now I'm kind of, like when Mexican Spec is showing some Mustang 2s that are in really good condition in Mexico, I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind having one of those. Ford rules the devil's advocate. Dean Stevenson, my mom named me DS because I'm ugly. Because that's what the Citrons were called. Like a DS19 and DS21, which I think was pronounced not DS, but that's the letters. DS19s and DS21. Very good. I'm going to make homemade tomato soup and homemade garlic bread when I'm done here. Man, does that sound good. Oh, you know what you bought that I dove into earlier?
You ate my food?
No, it's food you bought me.
What'd you get?
It was a can of okra and tomato.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And when I poured it, it made like soup. It was so good. It was more tomato than okra.
Yeah.
But it was like when he said this homemade tomato soup, it was a can, but it was really good. Dean Stevenson, then she tried to ID me because it was also an ID. What was it? A DS21, then an ID21, wasn't there? Or an ID19? I'm trying to remember. Those were the names of the Citrons. That's pretty funny. You got your initials are TS, like a Citron. Oh man. Oh geez. Isn't a Citron a lemon? They should have painted them all yellow. Then it would have looked like a lemon. But I liked those cars, especially as a kid. I thought they were just so cool. And I worked on a few of them. Real pain in the ass to work on. But I'd work on it just so I get to drive it around the block and raise it up and down. Just a little button on the floor that doesn't move. The button doesn't move, but you put your foot on it, and the harder you push on it, the faster it stops. It's got a button about this big around on the floor. It's the brake. And a steering wheel with one spoke that didn't come straight down, it was off to the side. And the spoke was just like, it just kind of curved out at you. Weird stuff. Very good. I lost my ID in a flood. I had chicken pot pie for dinner, says Barry Cooter. Man, I haven't had one of those in a long time. What happened, Kim? Kim just thought of something. You lost interest. Talking about French cars, and she lost interest. The French did make some ugly cars.
I'm looking in the thing, and I can see these dents inside the car. I'm wondering if I can.
Oh, you're gonna start hammering on the car. Gonna get noisy.
I can reach.
Ford Rule says, didn't Burt Reynolds send a Citron into a lake?
Probably.
My kid drove a Chevy pickup into a lake. My youngest. It was a road that went along and it turned like abruptly 90 degrees. It's like a 10-mile-an-hour curve. And I think he tried to take that curve at about 70. So he went out into a pond.
Into a pond?
And then truck was way underwater. They had to get divers in a...
Maybe that's...
They had to get, like, scuba divers in a tow truck to get the truck out of there. Oh, jeez. Let's see. But you know what? He took care of it all himself without calling me to bail him out of the mess. He just dealt with it. So that was okay.
He's a smart man.
But I don't think he ever told me the truth what happened. Well, because the way he explained it, he was coming home from taking a girl somewhere. But the direction he was going, where he ended up,
was opposite.
Was not the right direction. So I wonder if he had the girl with him when it happened. Something was wrong with the story for the way it happened, but I don't know. I guess I accept his explanation because that's what he wants me to know. But he took care of it himself. That's okay. Daniel Morrissey, we put on our car show in Fairfax. Oh, this is Daniel Morrissey. What happened? Scrolling by fast enough, I'm reading the wrong names. Put our car show in Fairfax, California, in Marin County, 40 miles from Petaluma, closer to San Francisco. We had lowrider cars in the show. Okay. Inspector Bruce, Bert drove one of those Maserati Citroen. Oh, those kind of Citroen. Oh, yeah, the Maserati thing. Those are pretty cool, too. Although I've never driven them. I knew a guy that his father was a Citroen dealer, and I know they had some of those in his showroom, or maybe one of them. Citroen. I don't know where the... Write that so I got the accent on the right syllable. Syllable. Four rules. It was his wife's car. He was divorced. Okay. Citroen sadistic. The French made one of the greatest F1 cars of all time, the Matra V12. Looked good too. Okay. Inspector Bruce is the longest yard. Mark Sauvé. You sure that's not a Saab? Man, that friend of mine, that his father had a little import dealership. That's what they sold was Saabs and Citroens and Fiats and Bricklands. That's a pretty interesting dealership.
Man, you know how they put like anti-vibration, like sound dampening glue on the inside of stuff? Right there where the dent is just so much of that.
Well, you know, that is so small a dent. We can wipe mud over that, and that mud will be about a 16th of an inch or less. I'm not really worried.
All right, I was just playing.
Daniel Morrissey says, Buff, I'm so happy your son did not get hurt in that accident. You know,
I mean, he probably got hurt, but he was young.
I had just bought him.
You just purchased your son?
I had just bought him
my gosh!
I had just bought him a laptop for $1,300.
Oh.
It ended up underwater. Yeah.
Well, he survived.
And then I said to him, he couldn't get the door open. And he's like almost all the way underwater. So I said, how'd you get out of it? He goes, I put the window down and got out through the window. And I said, okay. I said, that thing has power windows in it. And he goes, yeah, the window went down.
They work underwater, yeah.
Well, for a while. I mean, the battery's underwater and all the wiring's underwater, and it's filthy water, which probably means it could short.
I mean, it's not going to last long. But...
No, but after that, after they got the truck out of there and everything, the windows didn't work anymore. Mm-hmm. So it still worked, at least for a couple minutes.
Well, until the battery discharges, it'll work.
So you're pretty much on it, Buff. Citroen. Yeah, but where's the accent? Put the capital letters where the...
Citroen.
Citroen?
Citroen.
Citroen. Citroen.
Citroen.
It's like that country.
Citroen.
It's like I like to roll it. It's like that country.
Citroen.
That country over in the Middle East, that people call it Qatar, and then some people call it Qatar. And then, so my son speaks. Qatar. My oldest son speaks Arabic, fluent Arabic, and he's been there and been all over it. So I asked him, how is it? Is it Qatar or Qatar? He goes, there's no accents. There's no accent one way or the other. They just call it Qatar. He goes, it's like, just imagine no accent on any syllable. Qatar. I said, oh, okay. But as an American, an English speaker, I want to put an accent on one syllable. So I have a hard time with it. Buff Del Campo, you're one of them? Oh, the French? I mean, somewhere back in my family, there was a lot of French people. Actually, it's where Belgium now is. Let's see. Citroën. Citroën, says Mark Sauvé. So the accents on the last syllable. Very good. I adore the Cosworth DFV D8. Very good. It says Westlake. Westlake. Dean Stevenson, the V12 sounds simply delectable. If you're able to watch YouTube on your stereo, every time I listen to YouTube with my JBL, the neighbors look angry.
Uh-oh.
Man, there's an old video. I'll find it, and I'll put up a link sometime of a Studebaker, a supercharged, dual supercharged Studebaker, and the guy starts it up. It sounds incredible in stereo when you crank it up. And I've got it. I'll find it because I got it saved somewhere. And oh my God, if you want to hear an engine run, that's one of the best sounding engines I've ever heard. Daniel Morris, he says, Burt Reynolds, Hal Needham, stuntman, had a NASCAR called Skull Bandit number 33. I remember that. Leslie, Westlake. I'm not sure what that is. Gurney Westlake. Kim, what you doing? She's getting bored, so she's gonna go over here and start working metal, hammering metal.
I don't want to hammer that.
Well, I don't think I want to stick around here till time to change the clock. So I don't know how much longer we're going to keep this going. And Kim starts getting bored, and I know she's about ready to have enough. Gurney. Yeah, not journey, like G-I-R. It's G-U-R. Anyway. Gurney.
Journey.
That's like gurney. That's like the thing in a hospital or in the back of an ambulance that they put you on.
Rock band. Journey.
Rock band.
Rock and roll band. Journey. Don't stop believing.
Mark Sauvé, Big Mike's Peterbilt with the turbocharged and supercharged 24 valve V71 Detroit engine sounds out of this world. Yeah, I gotta find that. Yeah. I gotta find that Studebaker engine again. I bet that was on YouTube like 12, 13, 14 years ago. But I'll find it. It's probably still up. It's just not 24 valve, 24 cylinders. Oh, a 20. I get it. 24 V71. Now I know what you're talking about. Hit me along. Okay, my event's done. One more show tomorrow.
Oh, great to have you back.
You know, Dean, you're saying Holden. What happened to all the automotive industry in Australia? It's like, what happened? The Japanese and Koreans and Chinese just took over, or they were unable to compete, or? But I thought they had some I know the terrible word, tariffs. I think they had some import taxes, we'll put it that way, in place so that wouldn't happen. And there was something about Australian content and cars, and man, I just hated to see that. What was that? Big noise. That probably might cancel. But Miss all his Australian cars. Ford rules. It's late. I'm old, and it's too much fun. Dean says, when you politicians badmouth the bill payers and decided not to tear it. Yeah, probably somebody, some money flowing from other countries to the politicians.
What? They would never sell out their own countrymen for money? What? That's crazy. I can't even believe you would imagine. I'm saying from your mouth. Whoa. You be ashamed of yourself. I think you are.
Yeah.
For shame.
Well, you know, Ford had a lot of really cool cars in Australia that we didn't get up here. And I'm sure they were in New Zealand too. And then Holden, same thing. Holden was like Australian Chevrolet Pontiac-ish cars. You know, I really like those. And then, and of course, Chrysler had so much good stuff there. Daniel Morrissey said, Ford, love to late Chevy guys last longer. We have hours to go. Mark Savay, sorry that Detroit engine has 12 871 blowers in nitrous, no turbo. 871 blowers, I know what those are. Those things are big roots type blowers. The Australian government is what happened to Holden and Falcons, and they actively shut down industry of all kinds.
Those bastards!
Dean Stevens said the Australian market was 57.5% tariff on imports, and Ford USA and GM USA own Ford Australia and GM Holden. Well, I know that's canceling the mic.
Sorry. A little bit
I don't know. You got the dogs barking across the street, Kim. That's across the street up a little bit. Dogs start to bark. I know that dog must have heard this banging.
Hey! Hey! What are you doing? Hey! I'm sorry. So sorry.
Kim, don't sing music that is copyrighted. Is that copyright? Of course not. Who knows what this is? I bet somebody in here knows what this is. Oh, that stuff smells good, but that was too much. Oh, man. Dean Stevenson, the Daikin.
Oh.
Dean Stevenson says, once the tariffs were removed, the total cost of doing business in Australia was closely scrutinized by Detroit.
It was.
But don't Australian citizens, and for that matter, maybe New Zealand citizens, weren't some of those cars built in New Zealand or assembled there? Don't they like want to buy something that supports their own people? And I think the cars in Australia I think the quality was pretty good. I think the quality here in the U.S. kind of went to shit for a while. Dean Stevenson, so the decisions were made in 2008 when GM was bailed out. Holden and Ford Australia were never going to survive without support. Daniel Morrissey says Ford. Can't argue with that. I don't know.
Said you can't argue with it. Not even.
Wardrobe says it would
Come
make
over
a good
here.
t-shirt. Steve Stevenson, GM, Holden, and Ford Australia were global carded by cost. Inspector Bruce says, is that jar similar to Prussian blue? Do you know what this is? Dicam? Use this like when you're doing a layout in, like you put this, I got a piece of steel here. I'll be doing some layout work on it, so I might just as well. See, this thing has a brush on it. And like, you put that dye on there, and you let it dry. It doesn't really have any thickness to it like paint. I'm sure there's some thickness, but it's not like paint where it's measurable. And then you can take something like this, a scribe, it's really tiny, and you can make your mark on that. So I'm waiting for it to dry now. So that so then you can cut or do whatever you're going to do on that marks where you're going to drill or whatever.
Scratch it off.
Ah, Inspector Bruce says, sounds like a short video. You're right. Yeah, I got to do another short. You notice the last 2 days I put up shorts again. One of them did real well. Actually, both of them did okay. And I was able to find the subject very quickly. Who likes P-51 Mustang? Oh, Hippie Long says, Kim, tell me what you're doing, please. I care about the project and your solves. Oh, she is working on the, we're using pieces and parts from the Ford Ranger pickup.
Who said who's asking this?
Hippie Long.
Hippie Long knows about the project. You don't.
Well, but we're using pieces and parts. So she had to cut them apart and lengthen. We got to put a section in it. So she's making all that stuff fit. And
here, go ahead and get
put the other.
Camera it up.
Camera it up.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So in order to use this quarter of the here, you can give you two.
Yeah, but I want you to have a very good view. You might have to swing the camera a little bit to the bit to the west or south or whatever it is. Yeah, there. Well, yeah, okay. Don't get it at too much of an angle.
Okay, so.
Hey, Steve Edwards, my birthday is Monday.
Okay. Of the inner bed. That's the valiant, right? That's the structure. Here's the bed side and the structure that holds the bed side nice and sturdy. And then I welded angle iron here, so there's a lot of good support there. This is just sheet metal, but this is the galvanized inner truck bed. Well,
they can all see
as seen on TV.
They can see it better like that.
And at this point, I've got it where I can overlay it here, and I want it to fit key into there. I'm trying to get it to sort of lay so that it fills in that gap. Now, I mean, I can get kind of close. This needs to bend down a little more, and then it'll come up, and then I'll be able to basically mount it into this rail that we have situated. And then this spacing right here, I've got that metal that we were doing layout on earlier. We're going to have a piece of metal here because we're going to need structure here anyways, and we have a gap. So we're going to fill that gap from the underside and weld it down to it. And that'll tie it all back together. We'll have to cut out a panel here so you can get into replace the tail lights if you need to, like a surface panel. That's no big deal. I mean, it's all just It's not, and none of it is like super amazing anything. It's just like
Just you got to do it.
Work.
And then Daniel Morrissey says,
Got
I love that video when Kim cut the Ford Ranger up. So it's out there. He's seen it.
Yeah, there was a video where I cut that Ford Ranger all up.
Okay, I'm going to go back up the chat here.
Go.
Almost done racing incident. Survived Mustang Camaros. They went on to Inspector. Who says, sounds like, okay, I already read that. Hippie one, okay, I already read that. Hippie one, she's fitting hungry boards on the inside of the deck. Steve Edwards is here. I think I said good evening, but I know I thought about it when I read it. My birthday is Monday. I'll be 62. Man, you're catching up to me. Well, you won't really catch up. I'm 72 now. So you're 10 years younger than me. For those of you that don't know, but most of you do, Steve Edwards buys broken CB radios and fixes them, makes them like new again. And sometimes, watch out. Put your sleeve in the wet shit.
Oh no, in the wet stuff.
And then you're gonna have a big old blue die cam on your shirt. Okay.
Ooh.
So
Ooh, it's on my shirt.
So Daniel Morrissey says, happy birthday to Steve. See, Daniel Morrissey's in California and Steve's in California. They're talking each other through Tennessee. Kind of interesting.
Via Tennessee. Live from New York.
And then Dean Stevenson says, but Steve Edwards, you seem so young. Dean Stevenson, you ever watch Steve Edwards' videos? He's a boat anchor CB radio or CB radio repair, something like that. But he does videos. He does live shows while he's fixing radios. Never seen anybody else do that. I watched him fix the radio that he sold to me, and then he did 2 others for me. You know, Steve, I went and I looked. You said you did those on lives. I went back and I looked for the lives. I couldn't find them where you were fixing the ones you just sent back to me. Very good. I'm sure that wasn't helpful either. Dean Stevenson. In the meantime, Highway 61 and Bob Dylan at full blast. Bob Dylan did some good stuff. Joe didn't play hockey. You cut your hand.
I didn't, but I
didn't cut your hand. That's better.
I didn't, but I could tell I'm going to.
Barry Cuda says 62 on Monday, just a boy. Barry Cuda, you're older than 62? Oh, man. We're all getting up there. Well, a friend of mine, I thought he was going to come in here because we were on the phone for quite a while earlier. And it's a guy that's a pilot. He flew sailplanes, and he had a camera shop when we were much younger. And I was telling him about the YouTube channel. Man, you're noisy. So anyway, he just had some heart surgery, and he's feeling really good.
A little bit of it.
So we were talking for a while, and I told him about the channel. And he came in and he looked at it before we did the live. He came in and he was looking at some of the videos, and he goes, "Man, who's that guy with the big gray mustache?" I said, "That's me," because last time he saw me, it was probably 40 years ago, and I had a big dark beard, and I was like 33 years old or something. That cuts out the mic.
Yeah, that'll happen.
There it is. There's the mic back. Hippie Long says, I'm 62 as well. Man, I always thought you were like about 40. You're 62. I didn't know you were.
You do load-out work on concerts at 62? Man.
Barry Kuda says, Barry Kuda, let me finish this for a second. Says, I've been 62 since February 13th. Barry Kuda, I have been 72 since February 13th. That's pretty funny. We have the same birthday.
Happy birthday!
So he was born February 13th of 64. I was born February 13th of 54. Yeah. And Chuck Yeager, famous test pilot Chuck Yeager,
yeah,
he was born February 13th of 23. Oh, man. It's sort of like I started remembering the people who were born on February 13th, and he was one of them. And Hippie Long says he's in California as well. I saw that back there always. I'm missing a lot of chat. I'm sorry. Daniel Morrissey says 62. I have to respect my elders. You know, that's something I was taught when I was a kid. Mexican spec. You know what's been said about you while you've been gone? Mexican spec. Donde está? That's what people have said. Mexican spec. Donde está? And he shows up again.
He's been busy. Works.
The
man is working. Man, I just want to.
But people today, I've had, when I was young, it was like respect your elders. And even if you didn't really like the person, you had respect for what they knew and what they said. And now it's like, you stupid old boomer. Like, what? I've got like 50 years experience with something, and I'm trying to pass some of it on. And somebody says, you stupid old boomer, and walks away.
That's what I'm always telling you. No boomer.
Oh, man.
Boomosaurus,
yeah. I don't need you. I just go check out AI. What did I see on AI today that was so stupid I couldn't believe it? Something I saw today that was, oh my God, it was horrible. Oh, it's something about a car that I knew all about. Mexican hammer. Mexican Spec says, my father's been 87 since February 13th. Really? Kim is going to hammer enough that I give up.
Maybe.
That's why she's hammering, to get me to end the stream. And go.
It's the work that requires the hammering.
Well, Hippie Long says, no sabía de español. See, I understood that. It was Luis saying, Mexican spec, donde está? So I said, I translated it, said, где Mexican spec, which means in Russian, where's Mexican spec? Hey, Carfano says, how many people know what day of the week you were born on? Sábado. Or in Russian. What would Saturday be in Russian? It would be subota. Subota. See, I know some stuff. Barracuda says February 13th is a busy day. What was a busy day was 9 months before that. Figure that one out.
Somebody was getting busy.
Let's see. Yeah, see, World of Wood Chip. He said it before. I just hadn't read it yet. A lot of people getting it on May 12th. Oh, geez.
Man.
See, my mother knew about when she was due, and my grandfather had been born on July 4th. So she wanted us all, she wanted her kids to be born on holidays. And at the time, in the U.S., we used to celebrate Lincoln's birthday was on February 12th. Well, I was due on February 12th, so she was all excited about that. But then I missed by a day. So February 12th was Lincoln's birthday, and February 14th was Valentine's Day. I missed both of them. But I kind of like the 13th. Because 13th for most people is unlucky. I always say, well, 13th is lucky because I was. Hippie One says, Buff, the title in the room is Work in the Shop. Yeah, you're right. It's not talk in the shop, it's work in the shop. Niles New Stone, net user sentient.
He likes
one add net local group administrators. What does that mean? Well, welcome anyway. Niles. Daniel Morrison says, remember days when older neighbor taught you skills. We lost that. Yeah, people don't even know their neighbors unless they text with them. Barry Kuda says he's an Aquarius, but he spelled it differently. Hippie Long, 4 pounds 3 ounces, 1.5 months early. Oh, you were a preemie. Wow. Dean Stevenson says, "Donde está la pollo?" That should be El Pollo, I think. I'm talking with angels versus. He's singing something. Ford, you're still here. Awesome. Hippie Long had scarlet fever and jaundice. Ooh.
Ooh. That's rough.
Next expect February 13th is a crappy day to have a birthday for a man. Try to get a woman to do something for you the day before Valentine's. World of Woodchip says I'm 12. 12 what? 12 years old? 12 feet tall? Born on the 12th? Oh, man. Very Kuda. My only sibling, brother, is 13 years older than me. It's almost as if I wasn't planned.
No, but man, they knew how to not have kids if they didn't want them.
I had a friend years ago, and she and I were like, not girlfriend, but yeah, we were pretty close. We hung around together a lot.
Did you stick it in her?
Oh, jeez. No.
No.
Not a girl. Not a girlfriend, but we lived in the same house for a while, but she had a boyfriend. Anyway. But she was. But then. Oh, her mother came and lived with her for a while, and in the same house. It was a 3-bedroom house, but her mother came to live with her, and her mother was 12 years older than she was. So she didn't grow up with her mother. It was, I guess, a grandparent basically raised her. But then she and her mother were roommates, and they were like sisters. They hung around together like sisters, and they looked kind of alike. And
would if they were 12 years apart.
But that was kind of a strange relationship but they really didn't get together till they were much older, like in their 30s and 40s. They ended up living together.
I'm going to cut.
Kim's going to cut.
This isn't a big cut. This is
Okay, I see it in the camera, but I don't recognize that piece of material. Still at the.
This was one of the cross braces behind the back seat of this car.
Oh, okay.
So it's just
metal a piece that's left over.
Yeah.
Hippie Long, no. Although I thought about it.
What did you think of it?
It's So both did her mother. I said, no, but I thought about it.
I would be disappointed if he hadn't.
Her mother lived in the L.A. area, and I went to see her one time. She said, come down and see me, come down and see me. And I went down there, and she took me to Venice Beach and showed me all around down there. But no, we weren't close like that. We were friends. So, yeah. And then she passed away kind of young. She died kind of young. I lost track of the other one. I haven't seen her in, God, probably 10, 12 years at least. Hippie long. I might have peed a little. What? Oh, and then Mexican Spec says, it must be getting late. The filter is breaking down. Oh, hey, you're the mod.
Yeah. Make sure we don't say anything bad.
Well, I was asking Mexican Spec earlier to put up a link to something, and that was like an hour ago. And that's when we were going, like, I was saying, yeah, Mexican Spec, and Luis, who apparently left, maybe I missed it when he left, because he always says goodbye, but he was saying, Mexican Spec, don't be a stuff.
Mexican Spec, what did Mexican Spec do? He was gone.
He was gone. I don't know what happened.
Okay.
Oh, he says, I can't mod Kim. Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
So Mexican Spec, where were you? You were cooking food or something? I don't know what you were doing. Man, I looked up at the screen for a second. It looked like the car was rocking like a boat. But it wasn't the car. It was the camera. Mexican Spec says Kim loses 10 points for moderation.
Oh, come on.
Are you going to weld?
Yeah.
What are you going to weld?
This little piece here. Like support piece.
Okay, you're not welding to galvanize. You're welding to the angle.
That's a piece of the Valium that's not galvanized, and then a piece of that angle, and that's just...
I want to look at it. Before you weld, I want to inspect. That's not too much of an upsweep.
It is, but once I weld it on this side, I can move it this side where it needs to be.
Okay. I get it. Because in the camera, it looked like it was. It looked like it was crooked, and that's why I wanted to look at it before you. I want to make a comment about what Buddy Carfano just said, and I'll wait till Kim's finished sparkulating over there.
Sparkulating? That was so cool. One more.
Okay, that 57 Ford that Mexican Spec showed tonight is a very, very strange car. That has to be a Mexican-only car. Because the Fairlane, the 57 Fairlane, the fin, like in the back of the car, it's kind of a tall fin, and you follow it along, and then it swoops down, and it's a body line that swoops down into the door. So the door has a point that comes down like this. There's like a dip in the door. And they don't have that roof. They don't have that roof line. The custom, I think they called it the custom 300 57 Fords. The fin is smaller and it goes straight and it doesn't swoop down. It just goes straight, and the window doesn't have that little dip in it. So there's a difference in the body on a 57 Fairlane compared to the 57 300. That car has the tall fin, but it goes forward and it doesn't swoop down. It's like the custom 300. Really strange. and it has the roof of the Custom 300. But then they faked it. They put the chrome. It's a similar chrome to the Fairlane. The chrome swoops down, but it's up higher on the body, and it's kind of a short little curve. So they faked it. It's really a strange car, and that must be a Mexican-only 57 Ford. That is just crazy. I saw that. I couldn't type it all in, so I just looked at it and went, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Anyway, I didn't know if you knew all that, Mexican Spec. I didn't know if you knew all that about that car. Yeah, it's a 292, which is great, eh? I know, because I'm trying to keep up with the talk and the chat, and I don't know, it's incompatible. Come on. And then Dean Stevenson says it's a Canadian Ford Meteor. That could very well be, because I don't know what a Canadian Ford Meteor. I don't know all the intricate details of that. But that is a very unusual 57 Ford. Will the Wood Chip says, I appreciate a good joke about your mom nowadays. I don't understand what that's about. I get something. And then Mexican Spec says, I'll ask the owner what it says on the original invoice. You know what I wanted to see on that car was a view of I could see the serial number plate in the door jamb, but of course it wasn't detailed enough I could read it. But if it was Mexican, it'd probably be all different anyway. But, it's like off the top of my head, I know what all the serial number stuff means on those cars. So I would have been interested in that. Anyway, the car I really like, and Mexican Spec knew I'd like it, was that red Ford Ka. And the one I drove in England, it was silver. It was a kind of a silver gray car, but it had the black fenders, of course. But it had a gray leather interior. What a beautiful car. And the guy that it belonged to, that drove it to work and let me drive it, he said, I told him how much I liked that car. And he laughed at that. He goes, that's a girl's car. He goes, it's my wife's car. I don't even like to be seen in it because it's a girl's car. I said, I don't think this is a girl's car with that leather interior. It's a beautiful little car that drove so nice. Of course, I was driving from the right-hand side. It was a backwards car. It was like down under. It's a backwards car. And the one Mexican Spec had is the left-hand drive. And it's got funny-looking upholstery. I don't care. I still like that car. Wouldn't it be nice to have a big pot of money? I'd just buy that car from Mexican Spec. Man, I'd love to have that. Can't have everything.
Cannot
Dean Stevenson says, in Australia, we did the same thing for our 3 years of 55 custom lines. Really?
That's what you want. But
yeah. In the U.S., they called them custom lines up through 56. And at 57, they started calling, I think, custom 300s, I think.
Why did you try something?
Dean Stevenson says they use Meteor Chrome. Okay, and that, because I looked at that chrome and I thought, what the hell did they do there? Mexican Spec said it was suggested it was a custom 300 dressed up like a Fairlane 500. Yeah, but the fin is tall. It has a tall fin like a Fairlane, and I know the difference in the fin height. As soon as I saw it, I go, man, that fin is tall, but it tapers down like a custom 300. Totally weird car. Different quarter panel. I was just stunned when I saw that car. Mexican Spec, you asked where I was. Mrs. Spec and I were out front moving branches to the backyard for the next time we burn. I'm sweating up a storm right now. Is the humidity up down there? I don't know. I always think of that area of the world as being drier, but I know down where you are, it might be. You're what, 800 kilometers south of where I live. Mexican spec says, I noticed the side trim is taller than a U.S. car. It's mounted up higher. It's just different. And then he says it has a different VIN. Of course, they didn't call them VINs then. Mexican spec says, Miatas used to be girls' cars too, not anymore.
They are girls' cars.
What's the little Hyundai sports car? I can't think of the name of that car. Cool little two-seater. Might have a little tiny back seat, but I think it's a two-seater. Very cool. It says, just last night I saw an Australian video with what to me was a 56 custom line, but they were calling it a 57. It was actually a 57 release later, 57. I don't know. Josh Holman says, Ford cars were made by Mattel under contract from Ford. Oh, man. Dean Stevenson, in Australia, they skipped the 57 through 63 Ford with Chrysler Corporation cars and just reheated 53 Chrysler AP. I know all about those now, but I didn't know that till I met all you guys and looking at all the pictures. Next, expect Ford cars like the Fiesta Icon. Man, that Ford car, that red Ford car, man, I'd like to have that. If I had a big pot of money somewhere, I'd snap that car up in a second. Yeah.
Probably I had a lot of money.
Okay, and Ford Rule says he's taking off. Good night. You sleep, you gotta go. Mexican spec says it's only 81% humidity rate. Oh my God.
81.
See, where I live, it was, what, 800 kilometers north of there? Yuma, Arizona? And Algodones, my favorite little Mexican town, it'd be like 10% humidity there. I think the highest I ever saw was 11% humidity. Yeah, that's a nice dry place. Yeah, you're down there where the humidity builds up. Dean Stevens says, yeah, very cool. 55 Cuso. Stayed online in Australia 56, 57, 58. The tank Fairlane hit 59. Was a Canadian CKD kit car for 3 years. You know, it seems to me I remember some, like a 59 Ford or something. It looked like our 56 Ford. 58 Ford or something looked like our 59 or 56 Ford. Some kind of weird shit like that. It never made sense to me. Very cool. All the AP6 Valiants in my life have been 66 models, when really AP6 is a 65 model. Mexican spec says, yes, Buff, but where did they get the higher trim? It didn't come from that. It was from the factory. The one I drove in England was like a year old, and it had leather. It's beautiful leather interior with that, what do they call the leather that's fuzzy, Alcantara inserts and stuff. But it had crank windows, and it had, it's just such a nice car.
Turn that other camera off. I'm done with this.
Okay. So, man, I like that thing. But, you know, you could get the interior done. I mean, the interiors that's not hard change. But I drive that car the way it is. I mean, you know.
No way.
I like that. I like that Ford car so much.
I wouldn't drive anything with less than 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I hear that kind of stuff all the time too. Like this Valiant, people say it should have like 440 with at least 1,000 horsepower and 2 blowers and nitrous.
The project's already sitting on blocks in the backyard.
Mexican spec says, let's send the blue Mustang and the car together. You know, yeah, I wish there was that pot of money somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't have that pot of money.
If I had that pot of money, I would not be spending it on more cars. I got stuff to do right here. I'd be spending
Barracuda says buff, and I'll say a lot of words were abbreviated and end with an O. Huh? Somewhere up there, Barracuda also says, so no actual 57 Ford for Australia. I don't think so, because I remember seeing cars that looked like our 56 Ford. And then, of course, the dash was on the right side, and it kind of looked like a 56 Ford dash, but it wasn't. It was smaller, and the gauge cluster was different.
Everybody knows that. Yep.
Everybody knows that.
They do. We know about it.
C and VE were the intermediate steps, 85% local content. Okay. If you want in Arizona, New Mexico, you can leave pretzels and chips set out in a bowl, and they say crispy and crunchy. Yeah, and it depends on where you are in New Mexico. Because I always say, also depends on where you are in Arizona. Because northern Arizona is up in the mountains. And I always think of New Mexico as being a Rocky Mountain state. And most of it is. And Arizona is low-level desert where I was, southern Arizona. Really dry. And there's places in Arizona or in New Mexico there's rust all over cars because they're up in the mountains and it's cold and they salt the roads and everything. If you don't know, what else do you say? They stay crispy. Oh, mind-blowing dry. Yeah, a friend of mine from what's the state I lived in? Ohio. He was out in Arizona for a while. He had a girlfriend. He went out there and stayed there for a while. He came back. He's telling me, man, he goes, it's like driving down the road. It's like a hairdryer in your face. He goes, it's so dry and hot. I go, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. But he said it's like living in a hairdryer. Dean Stevenson says, no, it was a 56 Canadian Meteor. What could have been? Mexican Spec says, let's be honest, Buff. You don't do a lot of driving. You had the car and the Mustang. They might sit around a lot. If I had the car, it would be, you know how little fuel that uses?
We don't go anywhere. Where will you go? The grocery store.
It used to be I put on.
No more.
I know it. Like I say, I enjoy staying home. It used to be like if I had to be in Oregon tomorrow, it's like, oh God, this is gonna be a rough night. Drive to Oregon, you know. There's no more of that, I guess.
Doesn't need to be.
Cusso. That means custom line. I get it now. Oh, they just shorten it. My BC Valiant was made in 66. Most I've seen were 67. A lot of my Australian friends start with O. I'm not even going to read that.
We've been having the discussion, are we really even going to take multiple vehicles to no-name nationals? Because it's a lot of work taking multiple cars.
I said something to Kim the other day. I just assumed we were taking this car, because it'll be done, and my car.
Will it?
And it'll be done enough to drive there. It might not have the fanciest paint job by then, but it'll be plenty good enough to drive. It might be painted. I don't know. But Kim goes, we're not taking two cars because she doesn't want to drive that far. And I'm like, oh, yeah, you had a rough time driving that far.
Yeah.
When we got home from No Name Nationals, I was having a good day because I have good days driving and bad days driving. Bad days driving is like, I can't see as well. It's like, Kim, can you drive? I was having a real good day. We got home, coming up I-40, and then we got to take a turn off and drive through the back roads up to here. When we made that turn off, I could have driven all the way to the East Coast, which would have been another, 600 miles. That's how good I felt that day. And Kim, she'd had it. She couldn't drive 10 more feet, and she had to drive another 25 miles or whatever it is up to here. And she'd had it.
I was wiped out by the time we got home.
And she had to do it.
For days.
Because we were there with two cars, and she did it. And she got home. I think she went right to bed. So,
I've been trying to
if I had the car, I could put it in the back of this thing and drive it to No Name National.
Little cars would be nice. Trailer.
That's another thing.
That's why I decided to fix the Bronco too, because it'd be a lot easier to put on the trailer than a full-size vehicle.
if we take only one car to No Name Nationals, do we really want to be racing it? There's something about racing the only car you took to an event.
The racing is just like merging onto the highway. It's not like we're
I
doing
know.
massive burnouts and then
You know, if you're
roaring down the track at 200 miles an hour.
she drove a different car, like 20 years older than yours. She drove a 66 and mine was a 78, so they're 12 years difference. But, you know, when they get that old, they're like, yeah, mine is probably a little better
Well, we
condition.
were working on my car for like 2 years.
Her car had a fresh engine in it, a transmission she'd taken apart and decided that everything looked good and put it all back together.
Great.
It was great. It was like it was a fresh transmission. And then had a different rear end in it. It was not fresh, but we knew what it was. And we rebuilt the front end, I think. I don't know. It was just
A lot of stuff. And then I drove it around and around and around and around all over town for weeks and weeks and weeks.
It was a really good.
Yeah, because we finished the engine job in the winter before we started your car.
So.
And then I drove it around all summer before we took it up.
I knew it was a really reliable car. But then when you're racing a basically stock 6-cylinder American car, yeah, it's like she says, it's like merging on the highway. You know, at the end of the 8th mile, I'm going 55 miles an hour. Her car was faster. What were you? And I think you turned quite a bit faster. You were going like 58 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't even breaking the speed limit at the end.
So yeah, I mean, you're not running the car real hard. When you're running those kind of cars, you're not hurting the car. When you're racing a 6-second car, you can break something pretty easily.
And we weren't doing neutral drops or anything like that. You just come up to the line, try and cut a light, and run the car. It's not racing.
Hippie Long says, I drive a 64 every day. It's work to pull a U-turn. Oh, because you got manual steering. What?
I've made steering.
Hers has manual steering line.
It is rough to turn around in a parking lot.
And this car has...
And my car runs better if it has gas in it, but we figured that out.
This car has power steering, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
72 Valiant has power steering.
Yeah. But it has points ignition.
Twice she's run out of gas, and I've had to come rescue her.
I have problems with my gas tank and my fuel
But
unit.
it's your mentality about driving with. When you put gas,
I know it's leaking out. I don't want to keep overfilling it.
She'll like fill her van up with a half a gallon of gas. And I'm like, it's still pegged on empty. And she goes, there's plenty of gas.
There's a half a gallon. I just put it in there.
She does the same thing with every car. And I'm like, no, fill it up.
Buddy, you're starting stuff. Don't start stuff. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well, both times you ran out of gas, it was in the same exact spot. You know why? Because that spot's at the bottom of a long hill. And when you run out of gas on the hill, you just go as far as you can so you get to the bottom of the hill, and then you stop. And there's a parking lot down there. So
it's a well-planned place for a parking lot.
One time you ran out, I had to come get you. The other time you ran out there, I was with you. So then we're both basically out of gas because we're in the same car. And there was a guy there that came out and was looking at her dart. It's a gym that's there. He comes out of the gym, looks like a guy that works out. And he goes, I can give you a ride to get gas or something. So he gave me a ride home because he's going right by here, or real close to here. He's on the main road. So he had one of those, the newest Volkswagen Beetles, the 3rd generation Beetle, which I'd never been in one. And it was a really nice car that
They are nice little cars.
He'd done some stuff to it. It was a pretty sharp car.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a car guy. So, So I got to ride in that. But I came back here, got the Jeep, got gas.
It was fine. We did a little video. It turned out good. You know what we haven't done in a long time?
He doesn't mean enough.
Yes, it does. All right, listen.
Excessive.
We have been going way too long. We continued in part by a generous donation from Lester LeSabre. So thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Lester
who's
still
hung
here?
out.
He may
I
still be
don't
here.
know. He
But
might
thank
just be
you if
listening.
you're not here.
Oh, we
But thank you anyway.
And Hippie Long came in late, so we wanted to go a little while longer for him. And thank you for Hippie Long for redirecting us towards the work that I was accomplishing.
I don't know if you can see it. Oh, there you can see it. That's my die cam. The die cam is the stuff that you can do layouts on.
And we have a lot of little, like all the pieces are kind of moving around, shuffling. You know, you put it together, you take it back apart, you adjust. You put it together, you take it back apart, you adjust. You keep going back and forth until it really fits, and then you tack it down. And so that's where we're at with it. It's slow but steady progress. It's very slow. But the weather's improving. It's a lot easier to come out here and work when it's not.
You know, and I said, look at this. It's 74 degrees in here right now.
And I haven't even messed with
You haven't messed with
the
the fire. It's just kind of warm over there, you know? Oh. Dang,
But he wants us to keep going for the clock change.
the Federales will says who's the little white guy with you guys.
Ah. No, we're not going to keep it there.
Are the Federales the guys that wear they wear like camo? See, when I go into Algodones, I see police that are like some kind of blue uniforms. They look like Greyhound bus drivers. But then I see other guys that are in camo, and they've got like German-made machine guns, and they're standing around like in intersections, looking around. It's like, are those the Federales? Are they? What's Mexican spec call them? He calls them the National Guard. Are the National Guard the Federales? Are they like police officers? Or are they like? I don't understand the whole thing. I've never had any run-in, any discussion, anything with Mexican police. Just one time coming in, they have a bill with an X-ray thing, which is always off, and nobody's standing there manning the thing. You just walk by it. No passport control, anything walking in. I think you have to go further into Mexico before they do that. But one time I came in and there was an officer standing there, and I said, "Oh, do I have to run my thing through there?" "No, just come in." Okay. That's the only conversation I ever had with a Mexican police officer. Because I thought he was going to want me to run my thing through the X-ray machine. Nope. So, they only want to know who I am, and that's expected.
Yeah, they asked to see if she wants to be with me because of traffic.
Oh, well, they separate you and make sure that she's supposed to be there. And she's younger than you are, so they think you're an old guy that might have ripped off a young one.
I mean, it's not even funny that it's a real thing.
God. We still have hours to go.
No, we don't have hours to go. We have to be done. That's enough live streaming for one day. If you want to live stream more, we'll have to live stream tomorrow. I think we need to record some long form content. Okay,
but I want to go another minute or two here. Only the National Guard is on the highways now. They are military stops, though, and of course, bad guys stopping cars. Yeah, when I was watching you, Mexican Spec, you came up to, you'll remember this, I think. You came up to a toll booth's like blocked off, and there's somebody out there, some people out there with a cardboard box collecting the tolls, which are probably not the people supposed to be collecting tolls. And the police are over there watching them. They're like parked on the other side of the road, facing the other way, just watching this nonsense. It's like, okay, they accept it. It's like, I guess, as long as you pay the toll and you get to keep going, I guess. Not sure the money went to the right place. Okay, I guess, Kim, if we're going to get off here, you know what we really need to do?
No, what's that?
I want to do at least one short, maybe two shorts, so I have one to put up tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Okay, we'll find something. Okay, but we need to wrap this up.
I'm looking around quickly. I see one thing I want to do, so I got at least one. Yes, it was like a cigar box. Things are odd. You'd never find that happen in the U.S. I mean, if they do underhanded, corrupt shit in the U.S., it isn't that blatant. I mean, it goes on. It just isn't that blatant. There, it's just kind of, it's blatant and it's accepted. And I guess, I don't know. Like a friend of mine was in, I told this story, but I'll tell it again because it's short. He's in Mexico. It's at night. It's a border town. He's drinking too much. He goes out in the alley behind the bar somewhere and takes a whiz on the ground. There's a police officer parked over there in a car that sees him do that. So, police car, he pulls up. And he goes, get in my car. My friend's like, he's thinking, he's a big, tall, white guy. Speaks Spanish quite well. So, he says, he doesn't want to get in this cop's car. So he goes, I'm not getting in your car. So the cop's like, get in my car now. And he goes, I'm not getting in your car. And he opens up his wallet and he's got three $20 bills. So he pulls out the three $20 bills and he goes, is this enough? And the cop took the three $20 bills. He goes, go back in the U.S. and don't come back till tomorrow. And my friend goes, man, sometimes I really like girls.
Mexico really does have bathrooms. That's right.
So,
what was he on the alley for?
Well, I don't know. Because he's drunk and he's being stupid.
Dummy.
He's drunk and being stupid. So
stupid American.
So my friend goes, yeah, sometimes I really like corruption. Hey, Mike N's here. Oh, it's
He's just saying good night. Everybody's done.
So everybody's done.
We're tired of your stories.
I guess it's time I'd be done.
But I'm gonna do it again next time.
I'm gonna do a short about this.
That's shrunk. That's perfectly shrunk. All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Sometimes
you've made it to the end. You get 2 more points.
You know how long we've been here? Almost 4 hours.
4 freaking hours.
Almost 4 hours.
I need relief.
Oh, that's what the problem is.
What's that?
You need relief.
That too, yes.
I need relief.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you next time. Check out Mexican Spec tomorrow night after Dead Dodge Garage. And we'll be in on Tuesday.
There's more stories.
No more, not tonight.
Lurking.
No.
See you tomorrow night.
Yes, check out Mexican.
I should be there.
Vertical show you same cars.
Fabrication.
A repeat of the slideshow, but it will be fresh commentary by Mexican Spec and Mrs. Mexican.
I'll have to turn my monitor on its side.
That's what we'll do.
I will do this.
Stop it, please.
I'll push the button. No, I'll push the button. Say goodnight. Say goodnight, Dick.
Good night, Gracie.
Oh, there's 2 buttons.
It's still going.
2